And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And where do I begin? Man, oh man, I don't even know. Whoopi Goldberg trying to attack Clarence Thomas because of his interracial marriage. It's weird how they're trying to attack him for that, like saying it's somehow wrong, but at the same time, all of them do the exact same thing. That's pretty weird. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, I think the death toll is 53 migrants in that trailer in San Antonio, Texas, trying to cross the border illegally. And that toll probably will rise. Really horrific scene. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Also, shout out to the ridiculous U.S. Senate candidate, what's her name? Krystle Matthews, talking to a prison inmate about how to infiltrate the GOP. Well, the first thing you do is don't talk to a prison inmate about it on the phone where everything's being recorded, so it's able to be put out there to the whole world that you're trying to do such a thing. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Also, California Attorney General Rob Bonta, quote unquote, accidentally doxing all California concealed carry permit holders, normies, celebrities, and everything in between. I don't know how you accidentally do something like that. We'll talk about that in a minute. And of course, the now viral video featuring a single mother attacking a father for taking care of his kid. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. I couldn't do the show without you. If you enjoyed what you are hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. That'll help me out tremendously. And what else? Oh, of course, shout out to all the sponsors. You know I do from the very beginning. Oh, before I get to the sponsors, I almost forgot. This is a podcast. We're recording live. You can find this after it's done the next day. So normally, like say today is Wednesday. This will be available tomorrow, Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. So you can listen to me just straight audio without the video, save some bandwidth, have it on your work commute or whatever you got going on. If you're going to get on a plane and try to avoid some of these delays, you could play it there. Or matter of fact, if you're going to be on a delay, this would be enough for you to survive the delay without going crazy, without trying to get into an MMA wrestling match with a TSA agent or something crazy like that and get yourself locked up. Throw in that ABL Live audio only on your favorite audio streaming platform and take a chill pill that way, but no real drugs involved. But shout out to the sponsors. Of course, shout out to myself as always. AnthonyBLogan.com. That's the website. That's my website. Go there for all of my videos, articles. So for each video, I write an article. It may not be a very long article, it may not be a very in-depth article, but I always cite my sources. I never say a thing that I can't back up. I always cite my sources. So anybody want to challenge me talking about, hey, you didn't say the right thing, you have the wrong information, well, fact check me. Fact check me and see how wrong you are and how right I am. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Then go to the contact page. On there, you can find my email, my snail mail, and all that good stuff, plus my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of that's right there, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, y'all know what to do. You can send me something in the regular snail mail as well. Don't send me nothing crazy because I will call the federales and snitch. Oh, I'm a big snitch. I advocate. I'm gonna start snitching movement. I'm a tell right away. But again, you know the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to the merch website, ABLmerch.com. That is ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more on the site. Always new merch coming. Again, ABLmerch.com. Check it out. Bookmark it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, what we got? We got patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internets. Their link is always in the description. So if you're watching this video, another video, pre-recorded, a prior live stream, or whatever the case may be, the link for that website will always be in the description. or type it to your browser, whether on your phone, computer, wherever you are, patriotpost.us. Check them out right now today. Very good website. Also, bhedesigns.com. That is BHEDESIGNS.com. They make these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You guys can't see it, but I have a total of 4 flags on my wall up here. So you got these 2 that are behind me, and then I got 2 more over there. I may switch them out so you see different flags occasionally. I might just kind of mismatch them. But yeah, these are beautiful, handmade, wooden, American. Check them on out. Go to the link in the description. Tell them I sent you. And I think that's it for the sponsors. I always got a bunch of sponsors on my email, but I'm kind of careful. Sometimes, I like to just stick with the same people. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here today. We got a whole lot to discuss, and I'm not really sure where to begin. I kind of want to start. Where do I want to start? I kind of want to start with the Clarence Thomas situation. Okay, I kind of want to start with that. I see a super chat right here that I can't really avoid. Somebody says, "Do I ever do graphic design anymore? Are you good at Photoshop?" Well, because that's what I did for a long time before this. Before we get to Clarence Thomas, I was a graphic designer for about 10 years before I started my channel. So that's what I did for a living for a long time in various ways. I won't get into my whole life story, but basically, I'm an expert at Photoshop. So yeah, I still do design a little bit, but not really. I design all my merch, and I design my website, of course, thumbnails, all that. I do all my own thumbnails. I do pretty much everything. I do editing. I do the thumbnails. And shout out to my man O'Shea Duke Jackson. If you're watching, O'Shea said, "Hey man, you need to relinquish some editing responsibilities because it's taking too much time." It doesn't take that much time for me to edit. I'm pretty good at editing and pretty good at what I do, but I think that if I let it go, I'll be able to produce more content. But that's a different story. So yes, I'm an expert at Photoshop, and I am still good at design, although I don't really do that anymore. I don't really have the time. But sometimes I'll still get calls like from old clients from like 6 years ago talking about, "Hey man, do you remember me? Do you still do design work?" I was like, "Sorry man, I wish I could, but I just don't have the time." But yeah, let me go ahead and get to Clarence Thomas. Now, here's a question I have. It's rhetorical, and I kind of know the answer. But the question is, why is it that the left acts like Clarence Thomas is the only Supreme Court justice on the bench? Because maybe I'm not a mathematician. Maybe I don't know how to add. Maybe I don't know how to count. Maybe my eyes deceive me. But there's not just one Supreme Court justice. It's not like a king. You have 9 Supreme Court justices. So why is it that the left acts like Clarence Thomas is the only Supreme Court justice? Okay, when you're talking about Roe v. Wade, it was a 6-3 decision. So you had Clarence Thomas and 5 other justices that voted to strike Roe v. Wade down. So why is it that Clarence Thomas is the only one that's being attacked? You guys can answer. I kind of have my guess, my assumption, but you guys just let me know. Why is it that he is the only one that why is it that he's the only one that's being talked about and attacked? I don't hear a lot of hit pieces against Neil Gorsuch or Samuel Alito. I hear a lot of negativity, and I see hit pieces against Clarence Thomas specifically. Okay, but nobody else that voted to strike Roe v. Wade. Okay. For a while it was Brett Kavanaugh because they were trying to confirm him, and they were trying to prevent that confirmation because they ultimately they knew that this day would come, or it could come, when Roe v. Wade would be struck down. So the whole purpose behind that was to prevent a conservative from being in there. That's all that was. The whole Christine Blasey Ford situation. Yeah, that's all. And it didn't really have anything. It didn't have anything on Brett Kavanaugh, but they manufactured that to try and make it be something. So then Amy Coney Barrett came along. They couldn't really say anything against her. You got a woman and a mother. I think she has adopted kids and everything, if I'm not mistaken. So what you gonna say against her, right? Unless you're just a racist or something weird like that. Okay. Did he write the opinion? I don't think Clarence Thomas wrote the opinion. I think that was Alito that wrote the opinion. You guys, please correct me if I'm incorrect, but I think that was Samuel Alito that wrote the opinion. I'm pretty sure it was. But they always attack Clarence Thomas. Somebody said he's a black conservative. Yeah, I think he's the easiest one to attack because he's the one that stands out the most. You're being black. Yeah, and somebody said because of the previous scandal. I mean, they had a scandal with Brett Kavanaugh they made up. The same thing with the whole the Coke can situation. I won't get too graphic because we got little kids watching, but y'all know what happened. With well, I don't want to say the lady's name, but you guys know what I'm talking about from back in the day. But that was bogus. I mean, the claim in itself was ridiculous, but then it was proven to not really be credible. But it was the same thing. I think the whole thing with Clarence, the whole thing with Clarence Thomas from back in the day with the accusation is the equivalent of what happened to Brett Kavanaugh. It's both bogus, just trying to muddy the water before his confirmation. And remember, Joe Biden was the main guy. He was the guy in the confirmation hearing trying to get Clarence Thomas up out of there. So then you have people like Hillary Clinton talking about, oh, he's a man of grievance and all this, that, and the third, because she went to law school with him. She knows him, all this and that. Trying to push the whole angry black man narrative, right? But if anybody else would do something like that, then that would be considered racist. It's weird how they just flip their they flip their judgments whenever it suits them. Whenever it suits them, they just flip it. Matter of fact, I have some video of Hillary, whatever you want to call her, talking about Clarence Thomas as if he's the only Supreme Court justice that exists. So let's check it out. Oh, and then somebody says that Hillary Clinton is trying to run. It's like, nah, come on, man. Hillary Clinton stumbled through the 2016 election. So how is she going to perform better in 2024? Literally stumble. I ain't talking about just like when you're stumbling over your words. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about she was stumbling and bumbling, was barely able to really walk from point A to point B. Remember when they had to pull up, they had the car pulled up to the side. Hold on, before I play that video, let's go back to talk about Hillary Clinton. And the context is that she's speaking negatively about Clarence Thomas. I think maybe she might want to run again in 2024. Or maybe they want her to be out there as a kingmaker, so to speak, on the campaign trail. It just shows how out of touch the Democratic Party is. You're trying to put that old fossil out there. I mean, you're not doing the right thing. I think even on Fox, they were talking about Hillary Clinton wouldn't be the right person to put out there in the Democratic Party. If you want to, I guess you would say, rally the troops, you would put a Michelle Obama out there. She'd be much better than Hillary Clinton, but they're so dumb. They don't understand how to really run things. All they know how to do is cheat and steal and hurt people. Shout out to the Clinton crime family, but I digress. So what should I search? Hillary Clinton falls. Oh, but she fell. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. So here's a video in question. So this is from 2016 on 9/11, 2016. There's no sound. We don't get to hear Jake Tapper talking right here. So you see Hillary Clinton right here. You see this ballard. So you see this little fence. Then there's a ballard right next to the fence, right in the center of the frame. Okay. That's Hillary Clinton being held up by somebody. There's this Sprinter type van type thing right on the curb. So the curb appears to be a little bit elevated off the ground, off the street, just a little teeny bit elevated. And they're trying to get her to just walk from the curb to the vehicle that's right in front of her and watch what happens. Matter of fact, let's get a little bit of sound for this if we can.
Get her bearings. Let's watch this video for a second.
She can't really get off you have 1, 2, 3 people trying to help her right there. Then number 4, they're literally Weekend at Bernie's in her. She fell off the curb with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people surrounding her, trying to keep her up. This is 2016 now. This is 6 years ago. So you mean to tell me that that person right there who couldn't even walk from point A to point B at 9 o'clock in the morning is going to be able to run a whole campaign in 2024? Ain't no more virus going on. You got to go out there and campaign and really hit the pavement.
Apparently,
you can't do the Joe Biden hiding in my basement, in my Meemaw's basement, just doing little Zoom calls. You can't do that no more.
Almost falling, but captured.
Like, she stumbled into the van. It was crazy. So that person right there is going to run again? I think not. I think that'd be ridiculous. But again, the Democratic Party, they're a few trees short of a forest and a few crayons short of an entire 64 account box. Okay, the elevator, it ain't going to the top floor. The lights are on, but ain't nobody at the crib. So let's watch what she says here about Clarence Thomas to bring it all the way back to present day 2022.
Justice Thomas has sort of floated that out there about contraceptive rights,
yes,
contraception, and about same-sex marriages. But other justices have pushed back to say, no, he's really sort of on his own with that.
Well,
Don't believe that?
Well, he may be on his own, but he's signaling, as he often did. I went to law school with him. Mm-hmm. He's been a person of grievance for as long as I've known him. Resentment, grievance, anger. And he has signaled in the past to lower courts, to state legislatures, find cases, pass laws, get them up. I may not win the first, the second, or the third time, but we're going to keep at it.
So you're saying people pay attention to
yes,
this?
The people he is speaking to, which is the, right-wing, very conservative judges and justices and state legislatures. And the thing that there's so many things about it that are deeply distressing, but women are going to die, Gail. Women will die.
Okay, women will die. Why are they always so dark and macabre? Like, remember that whole thing, the note from the Biden administration? I think that might have been this past year or the year before, talking about if you don't get vaccinated, it's going to be a winter of death. Remember that? They're always so dark and just, the death is like always in the front of their mind. They're always thinking about the very worst, and they put that out there to the general public to scare you, really. It's a scare tactic. That's all it is. Okay. And somebody asked, how old is Hillary Clinton? She's 74. She'll be 75 in October. Okay. So you're talking about an older person. These people are just, at a certain point, it's like, all right, man, go ahead and retire. If you're not really well, especially, you kind of stumbling and bumbling and falling around on the campaign trail, go ahead and take a little break. Go ahead and just go over there and just sit down for a minute and do it that way. Right. Okay. And then you're talking about abortion, because that's what it's all about. It's about Roe V Wade, striking that down. Women are going to die. What you mean? What kind of women? You talking about adult women or children? I mean, talking about just females, XX chromosomes? Because when you're talking about abortion, how many girls, women have died as a result of that? Huh? Oh, and I got to just talk about this right quick. Getting back to the whole thing about abortion and safety and stuff like that. All right. So they strike down Roe v. Wade. And as you all know, because you guys are very smart, you all know that when they strike down Roe v. Wade, what happened was the concept of abortion and any kind of restrictions, regulations, or whatever went back to being the states' rights issue. So if states want to have it to where you could just kill a baby up to the point of birth, now you could be 9 months gestation and you could be pretty much dilating in labor. And then at that point, it's still up to kill the baby. I guess you could do that in California, maybe wrong about that. But you can't have abortion in certain states at all. Or maybe it's like in certain circumstances, you'd be able to have it. Regardless of what's going on, it's a states' rights issue. Now, they'll say that if abortion is heavily restricted or banned, that women then resort to very dangerous measures to have abortions. Well, is that really true? I'm not sure that it is. I think that the thing about abortion is that a lot of times it's just a matter of convenience, and they want it to be convenient to go ahead and do it, which rises the rate of abortion. They get scared, they make a snap decision, and sometimes it's an impulsive decision and they regret it. It's a regretful decision. And I don't judge anybody that's made a regretful decision when they were young or they didn't know any better, they didn't have the proper guidance. A lot of times, you get teenagers or whatever. I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's right either, but I'm not going to judge you if you regret what you did and you come back and you wish you hadn't done it. But I think when you remove that option, it removes the impulsivity of it, because you don't really want to go to a dangerous place that's like right close to you to do something like that. Furthermore, these girls nowadays are traveling all over the world to get all types of butt surgeries. I have not a clip, but just like a headline of an article. Let me see if I can find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. So there was one thing I saw. Hold on. There was one thing I saw where it was a bunch of women on a plane after getting BBL surgeries, because what happens is a lot of these girls, and I've met these girls that got BBLs, and they be regular girls. Okay, I meet a lot of people I meet a lot of people, just put it to you that way, just from doing what I do. But I've met a lot of these girls that have like work done. It be regular girls. I'm talking about the girl you would see working in the mall might have had some work done, some cosmetic surgery. She might have gone to a different country to get that done. A BBL, all that kind of stuff. Okay, you talking about people that work at the DMV, regular people. I ain't talking about celebrities, regular people that got regular jobs are going to different countries to get BBLs, to get dental work, like the veneers, all types of stuff. Nose jobs, breast implants. Back when I was a kid, you only ever saw like Hollywood celebrities with stuff like that. But now you're able to get stuff like that for cheaper. The cost of traveling through air has become cheaper. It's more accessible. People got this extra money, stimulus, and whatever else they got going on. Okay, they're scamming, whatever they're doing, and they're going to Colombia, they're going to DR, they're going to Brazil, and they're getting cosmetic surgery. Now, I was trying to find a clip, but there was one headline I saw recently that said like 31 women were on the plane that just had surgery. So what happens is, okay, I'm gonna put a picture up. It's not very graphic, but you'll kind of get the picture when I put the picture up. All right. So here's what goes on. So these women are sitting, but they're not sitting. They have to like, they kind of sit like Doberman pictures in the chair. You understand what I'm saying? You ever seen a dog in the car and he's like got his head out the window? They kind of sit like that in an airplane because they can't sit. So they have their knees in the chair and the front of their body up against the seat, and their butts in the air, not sitting down because they can't sit down because they just had surgery. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of what's going on here. And when they go to these hotels, that's a whole different story. I done heard stories about that too. The hotels in Miami, RIP to the housekeeping, because good grief. You talking about surgery, like post-surgery stuff going on. I don't want to get into that. Y'all, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But it gets kind of gross. Here's the point I'm making. If you can travel all around the world to get very expensive, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a BBL, if you could do stuff like that, and you're a regular working girl, working at the mall, working at the shoe store, working at the DMV, working at human resources in somebody's establishment, if you could do that, then you can take a quick car ride across the state line to get an abortion for $200 if you want to. I'm just saying, because it'd be the same girls talking about they're mad about Roe V Wade being rescinded, that they get on the airplane to fly across the world to get the BBL to look like SpongeBob SquarePants at the end of it, because these BBL surgeries don't look all that great all the time. Okay, have you seen like Little Kim recently? I mean, Little Kim looking like a whole leprechaun. All right, matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find what I'm trying to find. Y'all know what I'm talking about as well. Lil' Kim back in the day was very pretty. Very, very pretty black girl. But I don't know, she got the Sammy Sosa type thing going on. It's kind of crazy. All that surgery. If you can go all around the world to get this type of stuff, then you can go across the state line to get an abortion, which I don't recommend that, obviously, but I'm just saying, This whole thing about, oh, they're going to go to a back alley. What back alley? What are you talking about? Ain't no back alley. Ain't no back alley. The back alley is getting on a bus or a plane to go to the next state. And they have different companies that pay your travel, which will just get abused. They're talking about, I'm trying to find Little Kim right now, the picture I want. So, because you guys got to see what I see. Y'all give me a second. But if these companies will pay for your travel to go get an abortion and they pay you like $4,000, that's going to get finessed. That's definitely going to get finessed. This ain't really the best picture that I could find, but this is Lil' Kim. Now, Lil' Kim used to look a lot different. You see this hip action right here is just kind of crazy. And this right here doesn't know justice. This does not even show you the full scope of what's going on. You got all types of stuff going on here. This big, crazy, blocky jaw and the skin tone is different. That's all surgery from all over the world, probably. You pay 20 grand to get botched like that, looking like SpongeBob SquarePants, Johnny Bravo. Okay. You're looking like the dad from the wheelchair dad from Family Guy. But going across the state line, like let's say you live in Missouri, right? Let's say you live in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, you can go to East St. Illinois and get an abortion, which is right across the river, but that's too much to do. But going to the Dominican Republic and getting cosmetic surgery, which is, you can still get surgery here in the States that's cosmetic. That's not illegal, but they go to other countries to do that and pay big amounts of money to get botched. And sometimes they die over there to save how much money, I don't really know. Yeah, the performance really kind of did it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to find it on Twitter right quick. It's not like explicit. It was on BET, the BET Awards, which was ridiculous. I'm gonna find it right quick and put it on. But this is what's happening. You see regular girls looking like this. And matter of fact, hold on. Here is I'm gonna show you guys a before and after. How Lil' Kim used to look back in the day to how she looks now. And it's night and day. It's a whole night and day situation. Now they're gonna find, if I can find a video, that'd be even better. So you can kind of see what's going on. But yeah, that's what's going on. So I think I kind of was talking about abortion and surgery and stuff like that. But Clarence Thomas, back to Clarence Thomas, he's always the guy that they attack because he's a black conservative. He stands out the most. And he's a person that is, people can just, they can just latch on to him and take out their frustration because it's okay at that point to be some kind of way racist, right? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that any attack on Clarence Thomas is racism, but they can be racist to a certain extent because it's okay. Like, I saw a think piece on one of these black Facebook pages I follow. I think it might have been Tom Joyner Facebook page. And the op-ed says, no, liberals, it's not okay to call Clarence Thomas the N-word. And then under the post, I saw countless comments that said, yes, it is okay. So what? They didn't lie. These are all black folks saying it was okay to call Clarence Thomas the N-word because they didn't agree with his stance on anything. Okay. But here's the performance from Lil' Kim. Okay. No sound, of course, because you got music. Look at this. Okay. Now, this is ridiculous. So one of you guys said, I got to play the video so you can really get it. Yeah. Now, Lil' Kim's probably about 4'11", 4'10". She's very short. So all this hip action is just, I don't know. It's you giving me the whole He-Man action figure vibes. You understand? And here is Lil' Kim back in the day. Very pretty, classic New York black girl with the swoop bang, 90s. This was very nice. I mean, she looked perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Rather than talking about abortion, let's talk about body dysmorphia and what the entertainment industry does to these girls' image of themselves. Because what was wrong with her right here? Nothing at all. Nothing. This was perfect. Okay, this was right on it. And then this is her right around that same time. There was some surgery here, but I think she should have stopped right here. This again was okay. Sorry for the cleavage and whatnot. I'll go ahead and get off of that, but you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, let me go ahead and get back to the show. So did I play with hold on. So yeah, I played what Hillary Clinton said. That's what I wanted to get to as far as Clarence Thomas. But I'll go ahead and move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. And let's talk about the Texas migrants who got stuck in that box, in that trailer at the border. Now, the death toll is now 53. And that could rise. So what happened was, the border's wide open. They pretty much just let everything get through. Because, okay, how do you have that many humans in the back of a truck in an 18-wheeler's trailer and nobody knows what's going on? You don't detect that at the southern border, at the border crossing. You can't detect human beings in the. Is there a weigh station? Like, how does that really go? Okay. Like, what's going on with that? Anyway, the border's wide open. And as a result, you have 53 and counting, because right when I first heard this story, they said it was like 46, then it became 48, then 50. Now 53 quote unquote migrants, illegal aliens dead in the trailer. So what happened was you had some human smuggling going on, and they were abandoned in the truck. Now, this is Texas, right outside of San Antonio, and it's very hot. Outside the truck, it's over 100 degrees. And you're out west, you're close to the desert type area, and the heat out there is unbearable. I mean, like the heat like in the west compared to the east, there's no moisture. It's hard to explain. Like, you guys, if you know, being hot in the West is like being in the oven, like a whole rotisserie chicken just trolling around in a little thing in the gas station. That's what you're doing in the West. When you're outside, it's hot, and you're just burning. You're baking, and you're not really sweating because there's no moisture. It's not a fun type of thing. Now, if you go to Miami and it's hot, you're gonna sweat immediately because you just drenched in moisture. It's just so moist in the air because of the humidity. It doesn't exist out west. Now, I don't want to be hot either way, really. I prefer I prefer warm, but not necessarily super hot. Not like 125 degrees. Not like you're inside of a trailer and dying because of heat exhaustion. Okay, I don't want no heat like that. But definitely not when it's the desert heat where you're just baking. So basically, they baked alive in the back of the trailer because it was not refrigerated. There was no water. And it was like, I think, 60 of them or more inside of the trailer, laying down, just kind of like how they had slave ships back in the day. No, I'm not comparing slavery, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so they were abandoned, I guess, by the coyote that got them out there, and they just died as a result. More are still in the hospital, all suffering the same symptoms: heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Now, we all know what's going on. The border's wide open because of the Biden administration. They're just pretty much letting everything go through. I heard, and I'm not sure if this is correct, and if I'm wrong, y'all please let me know. But rumor has it, I heard that some months ago, they took some of the border agents from the border and sent them into Ukraine, or like, quote unquote, Eastern Europe, not Ukraine itself, I don't think, because you can't have direct conflict. But they were like reassigned. Ultimately, even if that particular story is not true about the whole Eastern Europe thing, they're not given the appropriate amount of resources right there at the border to protect the border and to protect us. One of the main things getting across right now is fentanyl. The number one cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 49 last year was fentanyl overdoses. Number one cause of death, I think, even beyond heart disease and the typical things that kill somebody. alcoholism, heart disease, accidents, fire, murder, fentanyl. This is why I'm against drugs. You guys know I'm notoriously against drugs because I see this kind of thing coming. I see it happening. Before fentanyl became the #1 killer, I saw it coming. I was like, look, if you just let drugs come in that way, from China mostly through the southern border, if you just let drugs come in that way, that's a way for outside nations to dominate us. I mean, let's say, for example, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, etc., they want to topple the U.S. They want to conquer us. Now, a way they can do it without even firing one shot is to flood us with drugs, to flood us with counterfeit food. Like, let's say, for example, they were able to get control of our food supply, and then they flooded us with counterfeit food, tainted food, damaged food, cancerous food. That's a way to kill us without actually firing the shot. And the fentanyl thing is working. Most of that comes from China. And we're talking about, and Trump was trying to reduce our reliance upon China. He was trying, doing the whole tariff thing. And you see what they're doing to us. But people still don't really get it. They don't really understand how that works. And we do that as a U.S. to other countries. We do it to Iran. Iran, I think, is flooded with drugs because of what the U.S. does. And that's a way for us to weaken them from the inside. So they become less of an adversary to the global stage. And so their oil and gas and whatnot is more vulnerable to be taken advantage of by the outside. That's how this whole thing works. So now what's happening to us with the whole fentanyl thing, and it's coming through the southern border. Oh, they're just coming over here trying to find a better life. People are just so normies. I typically don't even really talk to in a very deep sense because they don't understand what's going on. If you're an open-minded person, I'll talk to you. But if you're just a normie, if you think that the whole thing about the border is people just coming to get a better life and they want, if you think that, I'm going to try to tell you something just really basic. And if you don't really catch on to it, I won't go deeper. For example, if somebody says that to me, I'll say, well, how about these people that come across with the coyote, which is most of them, and they're paying $5,000 and $10,000 US per person to get over here? If they're so downtrodden, if they're so desperate for a better life, how do they have $5,000 in US dollars in cash? Do you have that much money to throw away? Because if they pay the $5,000, $10,000 or whatever to pay a coyote to get over here, if they pay that and they're unsuccessful, then they got to go back and try it again and still pay more money. You can't just pay $5,000 for a season's pass to hack it to the southern border and get in there legally. You got to pay that every single time. So how are they getting that much money if they're so downtrodden? Do you have that much money? They're going to say no. Most Americans don't. Most Americans, they check the check. Most Americans, I think what they said, it was like, if you have something come up, it's like $400 of emergency, you can't pay it. Hold on, let me try to find that article right quick. Most Americans, $400. Let me try to find that particular thing. Okay. So Fortune has an article, but that's kind of like, I'm not sure that's correct. It says a record 68% of Americans said their savings could cover a $400 emergency in 2021. So that's what, 2/3 of Americans? Okay. $400. That's the emergency, $400. That's not a very high mark. But yet, we're talking about people that come over here that could spend $5,000, $10,000 to a coyote each time they come across. We talking about $400. They got $5,000, $10,000. I mean, come on. But if that doesn't grab them, then I can't talk about fentanyl and the illegal weapons coming across and things of that nature. How do you think these kids in Chicago have Glock switches, which make their Glock handguns become fully automatic? Southern border, wide open. But anyway, back to the migrants that are dead. Now, this is not necessarily very big news, I feel. I feel like if these people that died in the truck got shot by AR-15, got shot in the school, got shot in a grocery store, then it'll be big news. Oh, and they're all Hispanic probably too. They might not be because, they come all over the place. But let's just say they're all Hispanic in there from Honduras or something like that. and let's say they were shot and killed inside of a grocery store by a white guy with an AR-15. Oh my goodness. That'd be headline news for forever. That'd be Uvalde, Texas. That'd be Buffalo, New York. That'd be what that is. But since they died in the back of a truck by being smuggled here illegally and abandoned, then it's not really a big deal at all. It's just like whatever. 53 people. And I saw a picture of the truck, and I'm not really sure how the picture got out. I won't put it here because I know it's going to get striked right away. I got it on my website. It's kind of blurred out. Like on the article I wrote about that, I have the picture of the truck and I blurred the body out, but there was one body inside the truck still. So they had the truck open, and at the back of the trailer, you could see just like the one body just laying there dead. And they had what appeared to be body bags, like red body bags out there, just stuffing them in there. Like it was just cargo. It was really crazy. I mean, seeing stuff like that, it's kind of hard to really see it. You understand? That's why I didn't put the picture I saw in my video or on a thumbnail on YouTube, and I won't put it right here because that's really hard to look at. But that's okay, right, to the mainstream media because ain't no AR-15 involved. It's so dumb. Oh, speaking about AR-15s and guns, have you guys heard about Canada? So Canada, there was an armed bank robbery in British Columbia. Let me see if I can find that particular video. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so there was a bank robbery in Saanich, British Columbia. Shout out to Ian Malchon for reposting the video from Czech News. But hey, I thought that they banned guns in Canada. I thought that guns were not legal anymore. So if guns are illegal, like they ban handguns, not just your rifles, which are already restricted to like 5 rounds in the magazine. And you couldn't even really buy those if you're just like a regular normie. Handguns were banned. So how was this going on? Huh?
Oh my God, holy dude. My God.
How was this going on?
We're witnessing a bank robbery. Holy
Huh?
Oh my God.
So how's that going on? You tell me. I mean, I thought that if they banned the guns, there'd be no more guns. I thought if they banned the guns, there'd be no more shooting and killing and thugging. And that's what I was told. That's what I was told. Okay. But here we are. So what's going on? You tell me. I mean, I just don't really understand how people think that these laws people pass are going to stop stuff like this. You know, you just got to kind of get hard on crime. If you got criminals that commit crime all the time, lock them up rather than just giving them a slap on the wrist. That's what you do. Okay. And if you have a problem with things being smuggled in through the southern border, tighten that up. And don't just say, oh, we're leaving it open because it's a humanitarian thing and they're trying to get it across for a better life. No, because that fentanyl don't care about nothing. The fentanyl is not trying to get a better life. The fentanyl is trying to poison and kill us. It's not trying to get a better life. That's not what's going on. Okay. Yeah. More background checks. That'll solve it. Yeah. That right there, the bank robbery with a whole shootout with the police in broad daylight. That right there, we need to have more background checks and that'll fix it, right? The dumbest thing in the world. Speaking about background checks, so the California Attorney General, Rob Bonta, doxed all of California's concealed carry permit holders, everybody in the whole state. I'm talking about regular normies, celebrities, everything. And what does doxing mean? Great question, you guys. Glad you asked. Doxing is when anything about you that's private information is released to the internet without your consent. Things like your full name, your address, your phone number, maybe even your social security number, whatever, anything like that about you that's very sensitive information, things you don't want to go public, things that could put you in danger, documentation like that, that was put out on a website that the California AG released. So there was a website they put out, and I guess the purpose was for gun safety. I don't know what the whole purpose of the website was. for education, for transparency. It's like transparency. All right, you could be transparent, but transparent with what though? How about have the law be transparent? If I'm trying to get a concealed carry permit in California and I'm trying to get a weapon, be transparent with the steps I need to go through to get it. Don't hide the steps from me. But we talking about putting my address out there. How is that going to help gun safety? Why are you doxing my information? So people got doxed. Every person in California that was a concealed carry permit holder got doxed on their website. Now, luckily, they took it down, but damn, it just been done. It's already out there now. So if you are a bad actor, if you mean someone harm, if you want to go out there and do something to somebody, you want to find where they live at, you want to confront them, you have their home address, you have their full name, you have the phone number. You might have more info than that because of this particular website, this database. Now, they said it was a quote unquote accident, but was it really? In my humble opinion, this was an intimidation tactic. Oh, you guys have a concealed carry? You guys are dangerous. Therefore, you should be known about. We'll be transparent with letting everybody know who you are because you guys are the enemy. This is why we don't want a national registry, because if you have a national registry, what'll happen is the same thing where you're doxxed, you're put out there because you're a gun owner. You'll be punished for owning guns. This happened immediately. They put the website out and immediately everybody got doxxed instantly. So if there was a whole national thing, how long would it take before people got doxxed? Before it was a quote unquote hack or a mistake or something like that went on. They could say, oh, I got hacked. Oh, it was a mistake. Oh, this, oh, that, and the third. But is it really, or is it a way to intimidate you from getting your concealed carry? Because you might see something like that and be like, hey, I don't want to have my name and address get put on their website, so maybe I shouldn't get a concealed carry permit. In my opinion, that's probably why they did that, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong, but it wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't a hack. It was a whole database. It was a whole database that they put on a website that you could access. So that wasn't a mistake. You can't put something like, you can't put that together by mistake. That's like building a whole house by mistake. Oops, we didn't mean to build this. We put the plumbing, the electric, the HVAC, the wall, the siding, the roof. It took like a year to do it, but it was a mistake. A mistake. So at what point in building the website with the database and gathering all the information and organizing it and optimizing it and making it work and making it accessible and putting it online, at what point of that process did you realize it was a mistake? Like I said, it's like building a house. It's like, okay, the roof, you got the guys on top of the roof tarring the roof. You had an open house, you had showings, you sold it. At what point did you realize that building the house was a mistake? After you sold it, after 2 years of building it? I mean, come on, man. It wasn't no mistake. This was done on purpose. And if they do it nationally, it'd be the same thing. You get doxxed on a national registry as well. Okay? And like I said in my video, they'll come to your house. The feds will come to your house. They'll combine it with the red flag law. Somebody, some hater, like remember when I got swatted? Somebody will call and say, hey, ABL is in the house. He over there. He got a 13-year-old tied up, and they bleed and all this, that, and the third. Go over there and get him. Anonymous fake call. He's exhibiting strange behavior. When he went to his truck the other day, he was doing electric slide. There was no music. Go get him. Get his guns. Red flag him. So they come to your door. Mr. Logan, we were told that you were exhibiting strange behavior. So we've come to enact the red flag law on you. Also, we have the registry here of the guns you own. You have this gun, this gun, this gun, and that gun. We need those guns. And if you have any other guns that aren't on this list, that'll be considered illegal possession, and you'll be going to jail today for that. Mandatory minimum. If you got a weapon in Virginia that's illegal, 5 years off the top, mandatory minimum. And I think it stacks, or it might be concurrent. But let's say it's stacked and it was consecutive. 5. You be in jail forever off of something false and fake and phony, all because of what they did prior. You see, a lot of these things they do in these court cases, it's always the next thing. It's always a buildup. People aren't really mad about Roe v. Wade necessarily because they know it's a state's issue, but they understand that when you have losses like this in the court, it's going to impact other things they want to do. For example, the whole thing about Roe v. Wade, they're talking about gay marriage at the same time. But why talk about gay marriage? Because they understand that there's other things that come about. That there's other things that are going to happen. It's a never-ending battle. It's always the next thing. Always. The idea of marriage and gay marriage, that's going to get rescinded, I think. And that's going to cause a problem. They're going to try to attack interracial, but that ain't really going to go. Because back in the early 20s, like the whole Virginia case that solved it, that sparked it, Loving versus Virginia, that was 1924 law that said you could not be considered colored being married to a person considered white. I think they went to jail for that or paid a fine. It might have been jail time. And they beat that in court. But nowadays, you couldn't even have that law because with technology, anybody could be anything. And who's considered to be what race or what? No state would ever implement anything like that. And it'd be a states' rights issue. No state would do that. But if they did, it wouldn't even go because who's what race? Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, is she white or is she native? She's 1024th native, but how much of a race must you be to be considered that? I've seen people that are not even 50% black claim to be black, like Yvette Carnell. Shout out to her, though. She's like, what, 40% black? Okay. People like Angela Rye with a whole Irish name. I mean, are you black? Like, what is that? If you mix black and white, which one are you? If you're exactly half and half black and white, Barack Obama, what are you? How does that really work? So that would never go today. But same-sex marriage is a whole different story. That might get rescinded because they're using same-sex marriage. They're using that whole precedent to then talk about other things. Oh, okay. So we got same-sex marriage. Now let's talk about, underage marriage. That's next. You know what's next. I know what's next. I'm seeing drag queen story time all over the country. I'm seeing little kids dancing drag queen shows in Omaha, Nebraska, really random, weird places like that. It's an agenda. We know what's coming next. And we got to fight against that right now in any kind of way we can, in the court or wherever. I'm not saying to advocate violence, so don't get that twisted, YouTube censors, or anybody want to tell on me. But we got to fight against it for sure. And in the court, that's where you got to fight it the most because that's where it really matters. Because you try to come against it and things ain't quite, it's a gray area. What are you going to do? Fight against it in court. That's the best way to go about it, to get it up out the way. All right. And speaking about underage stuff, so R. Kelly got sentenced to 30 years in prison. And I say it's about time. R. Kelly has been a predator for a very long time, since the 90s, okay, with Aaliyah. Now, you guys know who R. Kelly is. I believe, I ain't gonna sing, I Believe I Could Fly, I Wish, Step in the Name of Love, very well-known R&B recording artist. He got 30 years in prison for sex trafficking. It's a whole big, long story about that particular thing. But R. Kelly has been a predator of underage girls for a very long time. Let's go back to 1994. Okay, 1994, R. Kelly was married to Aaliyah. Now, Aaliyah at the time was 15. He was 27. They lied on a marriage certificate and said she was 18 to get it to go through. So he was married to her for, I think, 1 year. And once her parents found out, it got annulled. But he was married to her at the age of 15. Now, he met her when she was 13 or 14. Her first album was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Hold on. I have a Twitter thread right here that I put up. So you see the first thing, when they were married, she was 15 years old. He was 27. So this ain't even nothing like, first of all, it's illegal regardless, period, because she's 15 years old. But it wasn't even like they were close in age. Like he was 18 and she was 15. It wasn't even like that. Okay. Because my parents were like that kind of age apart. My mom was 18. My dad was 21 when they got married. Okay. It wasn't even like that. Like they went to the same high school. No. 15 and 27. And the reason why he knew her is because he was producing her album. Now that's the next thing, right? So the album was recorded from 93 to 94. So when she was 14 and 15, she recorded this album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, which is also the lead single. And you see Aaliyah right here on the cover to the left. That's R. Kelly right there on the right. Now, why is R. Kelly on the album cover with Aaliyah when it's her album? Now, granted, R. Kelly did produce and write the entire album, but it's not his actual album. It's her album. You understand? Like, you don't see Quincy Jones on the cover of Thriller with Michael Jackson because he produced it. No, it's Michael Jackson's album, not Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. But I digress. The name, he's telling you what he does right here. Age and nothing but a number. Throwing down and nothing but a thing. He wrote that song. He told you what he's doing. Okay? Now, check it out. This is them right here. 1994. I said he was 28, she was 16. I think she was 15 right here. This is right around the time when they got married. Matching outfits on BET during the interview. She's about 15 or 16 right here. Probably 15. He is 27 or 28. A full-grown man, almost 30 years old with a whole high schooler. Like, she's probably like 10th grade right here. He's like 28 years old. Matching outfits. And then the interview was crazy because they were asking talking about some, are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend? Are you cousins? Like, what's going on? Everybody could see what was happening with R. Kelly in the 90s. Everybody saw it. And then the videotape came out. Now, I won't say I watched the video, but I saw like still shots. And I remember this like it was yesterday. BET did it was a show called BET Home Living. It was just like MTV Cribs. Remember that show when they were going to celebrities' houses and show around their home? BET had one called BET Home Living, and they did one with R. Kelly. They showed his entire house. They showed all different rooms, the studio, and all this. They showed his entire house. This was right when that tape came out of him and the underage girl, allegedly. Now, they showed specific rooms that were in the tape. And when that tape came out, they replayed that special over and over and over again, the Home Living, where they went into his house. They were telling you in BET that, look, this is the same house from the tape with this girl. And then the girl, this was, I think it was an artist named Sparkle. It was her niece, if I'm not mistaken. Sparkle was in the song called Be Careful. You can look it up. I ain't gonna sing. I ain't gonna do a concert right here. I ain't gonna impress y'all with my vocal abilities. But Sparkle was his artist. He got access to her niece for some reason, and the niece was in the video that came out of him with the underage girl, and she might have been 13 or 14 in the video. And R. Kelly is in his 30s or 40s at this time, probably in his 30s. R. Kelly has been the creep for a long time. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. So now he's in the penitentiary doing 30 years in the joint. Now, some are going to say, hey, you know what? Why is he doing 30 years and Ghislaine Maxwell is doing 20? Well, I think what's going on, it's a few different things. First of all, different states, different charges. But I think the proper comparison would be comparing R. Kelly to Jeffrey Epstein. Because R. Kelly, he's been doing this for a long time. He had girls in the house recently. They're talking about they can't really leave, and it was a mess. I think R. Kelly is more equivalent to Jeffrey Epstein than Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell was the accessory to the crime, not necessarily the head person that Epstein was. I'm not sure how involved she was with the crimes physically. I don't really know. But there's also the whole thing about different states, different lawyers, and everything else. But yeah, R. Kelly, I'm kind of surprised that he got locked up for so many years. But at the same time, I'm not. Because there's so much evidence. It's like egregious. I mean, come on, man. Like, I think one of the main things Look at this. Like, he's telling you what he does. Age ain't nothing but a number. Aaliyah is about 14 years old right here. He is 26, 27 years old. On the cover with her. He wrote the song for her to sing. He's in the song singing with her. I mean, come on. He's admitting that he does this. My mind telling me no, my body telling me yes. He's telling you what he does. So I think it was just different. You know, I'm hearing the race card get brought up, but Bill Cosby was much worse than R. Kelly. I don't know how Bill Cosby is not in the joint. I think Bill Cosby had so much power in Hollywood, so much power in the world that you really couldn't lock him up for too long. He went to jail for a year or two, something like that, and then that was it. Yeah, Bill Cosby worse than, he's like the ultimate. He's worse than Epstein. But the thing about Bill Cosby is that he was doing a thing that was considered to be kind of normal in Hollywood, except for the whole drugging part. Some of the girls that came out much later, they said that they would have been cool with just sleeping with him voluntarily, but he drugged them. You see, he was doing that kind of stuff to these women. So a lot of them didn't want to come out because they were ready to go ahead and do what they do, but it became an attack type thing. You understand? It's like, okay, if you go on a date with somebody and you go back to their house and you want to go back to their house, you're there for one thing, but then it becomes something else. You go there for a nice evening, but you don't go there to get beat up and stuff. You don't go there to get actually assaulted. You go there to have a consensual type of thing going on. But because you went there, now you feel guilty about coming out or scared to come out because you went there to be adults and do that, but you didn't go to get beat in the head and drugged, if that makes any sense, right? But I'll digress. So, yeah, R. Kelly, 30 years in the joint. We'll see if that sticks. They're going to appeal the actual conviction. We'll see if it sticks. All right. But that's what he has so far. And speaking about the penitentiary and jail and stuff like that, did you guys see the U.S. Senate candidate in South Carolina, Krystle Matthews, attempt to talk to a prison inmate about installing fake GOP people in the South Carolina GOP to subvert it? So look, here's my question. Why, oh, why can't you just find somebody that's free, that's not in the penitentiary to discuss political stuff with? I mean, I'm sure there's a guy that's out in the free world in South Carolina or somewhere in the world, because they don't have to be in South Carolina. They could be anywhere. They could be all over the world because you don't mind being on the phone or doing a Zoom call. So why must it be a guy that's in the penitentiary that's locked up, who's an actual inmate, a current inmate? Why has it got to be like that? Hold on, let me try to find that clip right quick if you guys haven't seen it yet. So this person, Krystle Matthews, was a U.S. Senate candidate, and I think they're in the South Carolina government in the local Senate. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know in the comments. But she was trying to actually collude with this guy who's locked up to get fake people in there to quote unquote flip things from the inside out and more. But this call right here alone shows her incompetence because, okay, why would you get on the phone with a guy in jail and talk like this? You know that everything's being recorded. And if you don't know, you're just a moron. You're a moron. You shouldn't really be in office. So let's go ahead and play some of this. Shout out to Project Veritas. Shout out to my man, R.C. Maxwell. R.C. Maxwell went to South Carolina and interviewed her, or was trying to interview her, and she wasn't really having it. Hold on. Let me try to pull that up right quick so I don't forget after I play the video, so you guys can see that part, so you can see her try to escape. And then we get to the next thing. Hold on. All right, so I got that pulled up. And let's go back to the video of Krystle Matthews. All right, let's get some sound. That'll work. There we go.
We need some secret sleepers. Like, we need them to run as the other side, even though they for our side. And we need them to win.
Right.
We need people to run as Republicans in these local elections. And this is the only way you're going to change the dynamics in South Carolina. We can battle them in public all day. As long as we know we working for the same goal, for me, I feel like, y'all, we need sleepers. When we get enough of us in there, we can wreak havoc for real from the inside out. Then we can flip some from the inside out. We got to take back some of these seats, especially in these local elections. We need a group of sleepers. And I still got to struggle to raise money for my campaign. Where the is my black people with money? I don't care about no dope money. Give me that dope boy money.
Give me that dope boy money. You guys know what a dope boy is, a drug dealer. Give me the money from drug dealers for my campaign. You're talking to a guy in prison. He's at the Perry Correctional Institution in South Carolina. He's in prison. You're talking to him on the phone. It's being recorded. You're saying, I don't mind getting drug money. Give it to me to my campaign. Now, I'm not saying that nobody does this in politics as far as getting illicit money. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Obviously, you got Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. But even a crackhead like Hunter Biden knows to not get on the jail phone call and talk like this. Come on. You may as well call the police on yourself because you're calling the police in this call. Calling a jail is like calling the police and just talking. Okay, I was watching a video today with a guy talking about he was locked up and he, long story short, put out a hit on somebody from jail. And as soon as he did that, he got locked right in the hole instantly because he wasn't thinking, okay, I'm in jail. If I say something like that on the phone, they're going to hear it. They'll use it against you.
We're the duffel bag boys. Find you somebody in your family that don't even know you donating to my campaign and put that under their name. Honestly, these ain't the same type of black people that I grew up around. I don't recognize these black people. So I don't black because I don't understand the type of black that they are. Now, can I talk intelligently? I can move in all kind of circles, but I love black people. I feel safest around my people. I'm very much in a lot of ways, but I know how to turn it off and turn it on. You know, I know how to be in certain spaces. You know, you got to be able to turn it off and turn it on. We need some folks that can wear all black at night and take their yard signs down when they sleeping. We ain't got to make a bunch of noise about it. We ain't got to go live about it. Just don't say just like when somebody drop money and you pick it up. You pick that up and keep walking.
A criminal mind too, because that right there at the end, if somebody drops money, you pick it up and just keep on walking. See that right there, that's a criminal mind. Like if I see somebody drop money on the ground right in front, if I see you drop money right in front of me, I'm gonna say, hey, sir, you dropping money right there. If I see like, okay, you're right in front of me, you drop the money on the ground and I see it, I'm not gonna just take that. That's called stealing. That's called theft right away. Now, if I'm in the mall parking lot and I see money on the ground, like a $20 bill, and there's nobody around, I'm gonna take that because if I ask somebody, hey, is this yours? Anybody would say yes. But if I see you drop it, I'm gonna give it back to you. I mean, come on, man. That's just that kind of mentality right there. That person should not be in any government at all. At all. Okay. And currently they are in government in South Carolina. They're a state representative of South Carolina. So they're currently in government and trying to become a U.S. senator. Ain't gonna happen. Shouldn't be in government in South Carolina at all, but will never be a U.S. senator with that kind of mentality going on. Crazy. That kind of mentality is a scourge in our community. It's a scourge. Now, shout out to my man R.C. Maxwell. He was able to get up with her and try to give her a quick interview. Let's see how this went.
Than the other guy, I'm here with Krystle Matthews, state rep for South Carolina, also a U.S. Senate candidate who was caught on recordings talking about illicit campaign activity.
Give me that dope boy money. Where the duffel bag boys? Find you somebody in your family that don't even know you donating to my campaign and put that under their name.
I have a couple of questions for you. Do you think black people will be offended that you kind of liken criminal activity to a black-on-black conversation? Do you think your voters will be happy to see you dismissing what you said when you talk about straw donations? You seem to be kind of hiding from my very clear and simple questions. Look, I'm black. You said you feel comfortable around black people, but you don't seem comfortable now. Questions about the dope boys, the duffel bag. Saw it here. She ran. She's hiding in her vehicle. This is election day here in South Carolina, and she has not done anything. She's been at home all day. She's hiding in her tinted vehicle. No, seriously, better me than the.
So yeah, shout out to RC Maxwell for that one. Shout out to her. Yeah, shout out to him, not her. But shout out to her for avoiding all those questions. Okay, that was something else. Yeah, man, these people are crazy. And I think that you see this a lot in politics. Not just her, but a lot of them are like that. Not all, of course, but a lot of them are like that. Yeah, ran from all the questions, ran. Like a coward, a sissy, he ran. Shout out to Mike Tyson for that one. Yeah, and I like how you're getting reporters that are more going to be in your face and asking questions. I love that. That's fantastic journalism. We need more of that. And I would like for people to actually answer the questions. I want her to actually answer what RC was trying to ask her. Why not? You got caught. So just now, go ahead and say what's really going on. But anyway, now I have the other topic right here about the video I put out today about the mother who was trying to, I got triggered by that one. The mother was trying to bully her quote unquote good baby daddy into supporting her other kids that she can't take care of. I'll play a little bit of that, but I don't want to get triggered. That PTSD was real. It was dead real.
No, seriously.
Shout out to everybody who posted this. I was going to do it yesterday, but I decided I was kind of like wavering if I wanted to do it or not. But today, because, okay, I got to back up. I'm on Twitter talking about the particular case of the McDonald's situation with the mother, the baby daddy. I was talking about that on Twitter, and I was getting into heated conversations. I'm like, you know what? I have to do this video. I don't care if it doesn't fit and what I normally talk about. I got to do it because I was heated. Heat 38 hot. I'm talking about straight pistol, automatic, fully automatic machine gun, hot, boiling hot when I saw that video. Because I've seen this before. I've been in the room where that was discussed. My parents weren't like this because I was only child. So I didn't have this conflict with siblings and baby daddies. I never had that because I was only one child. You know, my mom only had one child. Shout out to my dad though. You know, he was out there doing some other stuff. But so I didn't experience this specifically in my life, but I experienced it through friends and family that went through this. I've seen it happen and it's real bad. It gets real bad. Oh man, that woof. Hold on. We're gonna watch it. And I'm trying not to play the entire thing, but we're going to get the general gist of what's going on. So I got to back up and just explain it so I won't be too long-winded here. So the dad comes to their house every day to bring his son some food. Now, the mother has a total of 4 kids, one with the father that is going to be in the video here, but 4 kids total. Now, I presume that all 4 have their own father. I presume. Because she said certain key words here. She was saying, hey, you knew what you were getting into. You knew I had kids by other people, not by someone else. That's a big difference. So it's probably at least 2 other men, probably 3, but 4 total, including the guy in the video. So the father's bringing his son food every day. And one day she gets upset because he did not bring enough food for all her other kids that are not his. Okay, so that's the general premise here, and let's watch what goes on.
Look, y'all, every fucking day my baby daddy come here with 1 fucking meal for my child, but I have 3 other kids. We have one kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids at McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there.
So she's saying, if you can't understand her, or you just want to get to the, the root of it, she's saying that he should bring enough food for all her kids, and it's not right that he only brings food for his child, because if he just brings his son food and he eats it in front of the other kids that she has, that they'll feel left out. And people were really defending her, talking about, yeah, he should have brought enough food for all of them, because where I'm from, everybody eats. You don't bring something for one and not for all. But see, people don't really understand this dynamic. I have experienced it. I've lived in this kind of environment. I understand what's going on here. I knew from the beginning what was going on. I already knew what was happening. I could tell that it wasn't even about just, oh, it's a one-time thing, it's a treat, bring a pizza, something like that. No. It wasn't that. Let's keep on playing here.
I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7.
Bing, 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 bing. See, it's not even about feeling left out, because people got so caught up in the feelings. See, I don't have feelings. I'm cold hearted. I don't care nothing about your feelings, nothing that. I'm about facts and figures. Facts and figures. That's it. It's not about the kids feeling left out. If his son has McDonald's and they don't, it's because ain't no food in the house. You see, the reason why he's coming to the house every day bringing his son food is because if he doesn't, he knows that it won't be any food for his son. He knows his son won't eat if he doesn't come there and bring the food. Okay? That's what's going on. It's not even about, oh, you come here this one day, bring food for all. It's, hey, I don't have food in the house. I don't have any more food stamps. So I want you, as a quote unquote good baby daddy, to feed all my kids every day. That's what's going on. I've seen this happen before. The good guy is taken advantage of. He's the only one that shows up. Out of all her kids' fathers, he's the best one. She's bullying him, or trying to at least take care of all the other kids. That's what it's about. Nothing about no feelings and nothing like that. I don't have food in the house. You got to take care of my kids that I can't take care of, although they're not yours. Although we're not together, we're not in a relationship. It ain't nothing like that going on. All we are is like co-parenting. That's it, with the one child, not all your other 4 kids. Oh boy, I was heated when I saw this.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa,
them are his siblings though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings, and they're not eating no McDonald's. Why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car. I'll let him
No. He's not finna eat that.
And okay, something else. People said that he should have took his son to McDonald's or somewhere, just go on a little trip, rather than bringing the food to the house. But he just asked to do that. He was like, "Hey, bring him on down here. We can eat in the car." Nah, she don't want to do that. You don't understand, because again, it's not even about that McDonald's food right there. It's about you, baby daddy, the good guy, got a job, got a decent little life going on. You need to take care of all my kids, because you are the only one that I can reach out to and possibly do something like that. The other kids' fathers will probably beat her in the head if she does anything like this to them. And they probably in jail. Somebody probably dead. That's what's going on here. Okay. So yeah, I ain't gonna play the whole thing. I did a video about it, obviously, and I'm kind of getting low on time because I'm gonna get to the calls in a minute. But this was crazy. Now, she wound up at the end of this, taking the food and doing this. Watch it.
Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here. Done. He ain't eating this.
So she threw the food on the ground, threw the drink just in the street. It spilled everywhere, and then threw the bag like right there in the dirt. Do you see it right next to the sub? It's right there in the dirt. So he's doing the right thing, trying to bring his son some food because there's no food in the house. But she's not successful being able to bully him into feeding all her kids. And trust and believe, it wouldn't just be this one time where she does something like this. It'd be every day. If he does it one time, then it'd be every day. And if he does this every day, then it'd be some court action. Mr. John Doe, you've been financially supporting Jane Doe's children for the past 6 months with food and clothes and entertainment. Okay, child support time. I've seen guys who are not the kid's father get put on child support because they financially support the children, because they're around the children and stuff like that. It's a crazy game out here, but he is not doing the wrong thing. He's doing the right thing. You take care of your child only, not the other kids. Ain't gonna be no one time. Somebody said, oh, well, you should just do it this one time. That's not. Do you think that this woman is going to be, do you think she'll be civil and be like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, and then just leave it alone and not ask him again? She will bully him every single time to feed her children that are not his. Then it's going to be Christmas gifts. Okay, you buying your son the brand new pair of shoes, the brand new school uniforms. Buy my other kids clothes and uniforms too. AAU basketball. Oh, well, your son gets to play AAU basketball. You're paying for his fees. How about little Walmart Tavius and Dontavius? They want to play basketball too. You take them with them. Can he afford to take care of 4 kids? She can't, so why should he? He doesn't have 4 kids. He has the 1 kid. She has the 4 kids. It's crazy. You know, the whole thing with family law and child support court, it's a mess. And I'm reading some of you guys' comments on that particular video I did. And it goes beyond race. This is some like real hood stuff, but you can see the same kind of thing happen in other communities and in different ways, of course, but it's similar because of the way that the court system is here in the United States with parental rights, father's rights. It's a mess. It's a whole big mess. So yeah, shout out to that dad for trying to do the right thing, but you did right by not being bullied into feeding her other kids. If you're getting food stamps and a Section 8 crib and government and you don't work, what are you doing with your food stamp money? You got fresh. I saw them fresh nails. I sure did see the fresh nails. Okay, them nails ain't. And why you got fresh nails anyway? You at the crib just being the baby mama terrorist. Why you got fresh nails for what? To try and get the next guy to try to come in and bully him to take care of all your other kids and pop up one more kid before you get to be too old? I'm triggered, so I digress. I'm super triggered. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And men, please, 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 if you come across a single mom, a bunch of kids, real hood, you like her body, she treating you right, please, please, please run the other direction. Don't do it, because you're going to be a guy just like him. Don't do it. Run. Please run. Don't get yourself involved in that situation. It's not going to end well for you. Okay? The red flags are going to be like referees just throwing them at you, hitting you in the face. Heed the red flags, please. Somebody said it was a skit. I mean, it don't even matter if it's a skit or not. I don't think it was a skit. But the issue is that happens a lot in real life. I've seen that happen in real life, for real. Like, I've seen that literally in front of my face happen. I've witnessed it as a little kid too. Not my parents, because again, I'm the only child, so I didn't have this kind of thing with baby daddies going on. But I've seen close friends, other family members. I've seen that. Yeah, not all single moms act like that, but you see certain little key things that let you know that you're going to have a problem. if you get there and she has 3 kids by 3 men, and you try to be number 4, I mean, come on. If she has 3 kids by 1 man, a prior marriage, that's much better. 3 kids by 3 men, and she's like 24 years old, fresh nails and the bonnet. You already know what time it is. If you get involved with that, you earned that. You earned that stress for the 18 years you got to deal with it. But I digress. Let's get back to the super chats, and we'll get to the calls in a minute. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Antonio Vigil says, I always wondered why there is so much McDonald's litter on sidewalks and roadways. Hilarious. Hey, hilarious. That right there, that's perfect content right there. Shout out to you. Leslie, that was too real, wasn't it? That was too real. I've seen that. I've literally seen that exact scenario play out over and over again. PTSD. And I wasn't even the one involved. I wasn't even a little kid involved with that, but I seen it. And I could feel it. You know, I could feel for my friend or whoever's going through it at that moment as a little kid. All right. Thank you to Mallory Faust, who says these companies that are acting virtuous by paying for employees' abortions are just doing this because it's cheaper than maternity leave. Oh, that's a good one. You're right about that. It's definitely cheaper to the leader. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says, ABL, you're very hard to find on the boom tube now. Is that right? They're trying to hide my videos. You know, they're trying to keep me down, but they can't. They can't oppress me for too much longer. I mean, I'm everywhere at the same time. Like, I'm on IG, Facebook, Twitter. They can't keep me down for too long. Thank you to Mike DeRusha, who says, this will be my only chat, ABL, I promise. Thank you, man. It's all good. Thank you to Kai's Posthumous, who says Newsom's Department of Justice exposed all CCW permit holders in California. I did that story. Thank you to Apple, who says, is black community impressed by Miss Hutchinson? I don't believe so. Also, Apple says a few more here. Reminder, Joe Biden, asterisk times 8, 50 migrants. What you mean? Deleted 50 migrants? Also, reminder, Joe Biden droned an Afghan family. He did. J6 job, be dirty by dirty cops, Capitol Police, Deep State FBI. Black community likes Trump, take control of limo. You know, the whole limo story. I mean, okay. So the whole January 6th hearing, I'm not watching that really. I get some of the highlights, like a basketball game, right? You get some of the highlights. Okay. So I guess maybe you guys have seen the testimony, but Cassidy Hutchinson, I guess she's like some kind of staffer, or was a staffer in the White House when Trump was there. She testified that Trump tried to grab the wheel from a Secret Service agent and assaulted him and demanded to get taken back to the Capitol during the riots, right? But if this is the vehicle that he was in, how could he try to grab the wheel? How? Look at how far he is back. I mean, you could have go gadget arm trying to grab the wheel from back there. It didn't make any sense. And her testimony has been debunked by people that were there, Secret Service agents that were there. And I think that she said she wrote a note talking about something. I forget what the note was. But then that was debunked as well because someone else wrote the note and they said that they wrote it. And they'll go under oath and testify that what she's saying is incorrect. So the whole January 6th thing, I mean, you're talking about the biggest dog and pony show I've ever seen in my life. Just dog and pony, lies, weird stuff going on for no reason. Just ridiculous nonsense. I don't understand the purpose beyond political. I guess it's only for political purposes, but I digress. Apple also says, God bless J6 MAGA Patriots in D.C. jail solitary. Also, what's the word on the street about Roe v. Wade? People mad. Don't nobody care about Roe v. Wade. The word on the street is gas prices. That's the only thing that anybody cares about. Nobody cares about Roe v. Wade. That's not really an important issue. That's important only on television. That's important only in these far left activist groups, Planned Parenthood, people like that. They're the only ones that care about that. Okay. Thank you to Jeremy Joestar. Great name, by the way. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Jeremy Joestar says, these women say, quote, my body is a temple. Yeah, an Aztec temple. Wow, great one. Quote, I noticed the people in favor of abortion have already been born. Richard Nixon, that's right. Hey, I'm going to use that. Aztec temple, that's fantastic. I think it's Apu again who says, Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger, anti-black racist who spoke to KKK and whose associates talked to Nazis. Pro-life Dr. Alveda King, this is MLK, who denounces her own to the abortions. Caius Parsonman says, ABL, how about the new stimulus check from Newsom? A stimulus check? Is there another one coming out from California? And it just rising in inflation. Oh, I did see that. Because there's a quote unquote surplus in California. And there's a big surplus in California. All that means is that they're paying too much taxes and they're not spending on things that they should be spending on. Okay, road improvements, things of that nature. If everything is paid for and there's a big surplus, just cut taxes. But they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to keep these high taxes to try and do, they want to try and do like a communism type of thing and see how that works out, UBI. Thank you to Laura Catherine for the keep it up, working out emoji. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Ricardo E, who says, I'm crying here, Bill Cosby. Yeah, man, that's his name, Bill Cosby, for sure. Thank you to Fana Faye, who says, Cosby is another Ted Bundy minus the deletion of people. Also, don't forget, quote, Lil Mama with rolling that body, got every man in there wishing. Fana Faye says, between the baby mama video, the trashy outfits at the EBT Awards, black women supporting abortion, the fake politician, I'm triggered. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm super triggered. Thank you to Hollaboy for Life 2002, who says, oh, Lord, I know why you got triggered from the baby mama. It's not his duty to take care of them other kids. Correct. Thank you to Hosanna Renee for your donation. And thank you to Chili Chill for your high five donation emoji. Thank you for that. All right. I got all of them right there. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we got time for calls now, of course. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. It is all good. If Skype works inappropriately or it's strange, it's not my fault. You know who to blame. Blame the white man. Let's go ahead and get into it. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, BL, it's FMA Ranger Xbox. Let me turn this down real quick. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Well, there's no reason to complain. Half the people won't listen. The other other half are too tired from work and trying to buy a tank full of gas.
That's right.
My God. I just bought a gas can full of gas, and that's what it costs. It costs more to fill up a 5-gallon can of gas than what it cost me under Trump to fill up my 2020 Tacoma pickup truck.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But now I'm listening to all these analysts and everything that, hey, inflation's this, inflation's that. I don't know, ABL. I ain't as smart as they are. I mean, I just got a measly old associate's degree in aviation maintenance technologies. And on the algebra, trigonometry, geometry, and physics combined test, I scored 100. But, gee, my math says that inflation's right now at about 23%. What do you think, brother?
I think you're right because, I mean, like real inflation, like how much things cost on the ground for the average person and the ability to be able to get these things. The inflation is very high. I mean, food prices, that's one of the main places. And, of course, the gas. I think they said that the gas has risen by $2.50 since Biden became the president. So that's like almost 100%.
Oh, easy. And some more great news. It sucks being right all the time. I hate it. I wish I was wrong. My God, I wish I was wrong. But the bottom's about ready to fall out of the value of the dollar. They're panicking because this is what China wanted. This is China's goal. China wants to become the world currency. Saudi Arabia, I told you a couple of weeks ago, they were already negotiating selling oil in yuan And that's what they're planning on doing. It's insanely treasonous what's being done to us right now. I just cannot believe how much longer the American public's going to put up with this. I mean, these people act like, oh my God, there's no way in the world that you could ever go without having an abortion. I didn't have my first child till I was 48 years old. She's 13 now, and I love her to death. My son, I couldn't be blessed with better kids, ABL. My son today at Dairy Queen jumped up, ran to the door, and opened it up for an elderly couple that was coming in the front door. I was so proud of him because I didn't teach him to do that. He's just that good of a kid. Oh, man. And I want to turn the world over to him on America that I grew up in. It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot of fun, you know. But nowadays kids they're not even safe to go out. And you know what night and what location is the most dangerous for children to be kidnapped?
Where's that?
Washington, D.C., Halloween. The counties around Washington, D.C., the most amount of children disappear.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. I think we need to start extensively drug testing everybody in Washington, and if they can't pass, they need to be gone. I mean, because these people cannot be of a sound mind.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's all I got for you, brother. Love your show. I share your content, and I post on your Facebook page. I post up my memes and your comments if they're kind of appropriate for the subject at hand. But have a good night, and God bless America, and let's hopefully get this country saved.
Right on, man.
I don't know. You take care, brother.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right, now.
Bye.
All right. And the number to call, if you don't know, is right there, 434-658-1220. Thank you all for calling in. I'll try to get you guys on as soon as possible. You're on line speaker to 347.
Anthony?
Yes?
Oh, how are you, man?
I'm good. Who am I speaking to?
This is me, your friendly Asian guy. I mean, I tried to call you on your previous live stream, but while you did not pick up my call, though.
Everybody can't always get through. That's how it happens. What was going on?
Oh, yes. Do you know about the Texas school shooting? The new evidence? So I got the new evidence come out. The guy, a Latino guy, his name is Cody Prisoner. He is a funeral worker. He did encounter Salvador Ramos, right? He did encounter him, and Salvador Ramos started to shoot at him, and he shot at him back. But then Salvador Ramos, he started to run away, started to run toward the school. So prisoner started to chasing after him. But then there is
I can't understand. Who got shot now? Who got shot? I missed that part.
Oh, Cody Prisoner.
So who was this? Like when you said it happened in Texas?
Oh, yes. Before the school shooting. So the master guy, the Salvador Ramos, he shot at him, then he shot back. Then Ramos started to run away toward the school. So prisoner started to chase after him to stop him, right? But then a police come and stop him, prisoner, and stop him from chasing after the guy attempt to commit school shooting. the police tell him to stay back and shut up.
Okay. So we gotta see more from that, really, to see how that whole thing going on. Talking about Salvador Ramos and that whole situation. We gotta see how that whole thing. We got to get more information from the police, because a lot of information is coming out piece by piece. I'm gonna get the full scoop about what's going on to make a decision about what's happening.
Okay. So not only him, there is also another guy who is an armed law-abiding citizen. He is a husband of the teacher have been killed by Salvador Ramos, right? So he used his gun come to save his wife be shot in school, but then the police, right, immediately detain him and disarm him. Then they arrest him.
Okay.
And not only that, do you know there is a news? I made the photo come from the camera inside the school. It showed that the police informant, they armed with guns and they have shoot, but they wait for like 1 hour and they did not come to save the children. I mean, they inside the school. And also, if you look closely at the door in front of them, right, it did not clock. It stayed open.
Okay.
Yes. And yes, we will have the 15 Rhino administrator vote for the bill that is anti our Second Amendment, and not only that, it anti all our amendment in the Bill of Rights too. Those scumbags.
Yeah, I mean, that's really a terrible thing as far as the rhinos that are anti-Second Amendment. I really don't understand the purpose of them doing a thing like this, because these laws, these anti-Second Amendment laws, don't work to deter crime. All they do is just make it harder for regular people, law-abiding citizens, to have their guns to protect themselves. But thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, so when the next live streams come, please answer my phone call, please. Anthony.
If you can get through, then you'll be lucky, because everybody can't get through. That's just how it goes. You can't always be entitled like that. Thank you for the call, though. All right. He was like, yo, man, check it out. And next time I call, you better answer the phone. Hey, man, you can't always get on. That's just the life. That's just the way things work, man. All right. Let's go to some more here. All right. 704, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Leslie, Brian. I'm in the chat, decided to call in. This is my first time calling into the show.
Well, I'm glad you came on. So what's happening?
I am. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, you look at okay, first of all, let me say this. I was a Democrat for 26 years. And I have an older brother and one of my uncles. They are both conservative. So, needless to say, with Trump's second running, that's when I got red-pilled. But I'm just flabbergasted with this Roe versus Wade thing. You have the same people that are having these meltdowns, crying, protesting, because they want to do what they want to do. But then 2 years ago, they were out in the street burning buildings talking about Black Lives Matter. And, I'm tending to look at it from the majority of abortions are from Black women. But they're telling you Black Lives Matter, but they are advocating for you to go kill your baby. It just gets me beside myself.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all, because they say that they want to be pro-Black and they want to protect Black life. But like I say, look at all the Black women that are going to the abortion clinics and killing their babies, and people that they're encouraging Black women specifically to go to the abortion clinics, although they're already very high as far as the number of abortions. They want it to be even higher. So it's like, what's the real purpose? Why would somebody encourage Black people to go and kill themselves in the abortion clinic while at the same time saying Black Lives Matter. Like, what's really happening here?
Yeah, but won't say anything about all the shootings in Chicago. They won't say anything about us killing each other, or it's only when a white officer will kill one of us that they decide they want to protest.
That's right.
But won't take accountability for our community. And then someone else pointed out in the chat, and I think they sent you a super chat. They were talking about, when these companies are paying for their employees to go get these abortions, it's cheaper than them paying maternity leave. It goes deeper than that. You think about it, if they're getting health insurance benefits, all of those things that company's going to have to cover for that employee and their family.
That's right.
I think the companies are looking at saving money that way too.
Yeah, it's a really big expense, and they can kind of like kill two birds with one stone. They can appear to be very virtuous and progressive and all of that, but at the same time, which is the bigger thing, they save a bunch of money. So for them, it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'll never, as far as the Democratic Party, I'll never look back again. No.
Well, I'm glad to hear
like
it.
I said, I'm just flabbergasted.
I'm right there with you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you won't go back that way. And that's usually what happens when you see the light, when you see the truth. You can't unsee it. You can't just act like you didn't really see what's going on. And everything you see from them from here on out, you'll see with a different set of lenses, and you'll see the truth. So I'm glad it's where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I've been called. I'm sure, like you, they call you a coon. All of these things just because you think differently. It's like I don't want my people to be, stuck depending on the government and in these cycles that you see in the Black community. It's like, do better. You can do better.
That's right.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Good show tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'll talk with you later.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Great call. Shout out to her. All righty. Let's go to 803. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Okay. I wasn't expecting to get through. Hey, Anthony, I just want to thank you a whole lot for that segment that you ran on the South Carolina State Representative. I happen to know a lot of those people up there in the Legislative House, and went ahead and forwarded that information over to them. And I'm getting contact back that there might be some probable impeachment grounds there because of the request for illegal begotten funds through drug money for a campaign.
Oh, but, yeah. Like I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, that's got to be something they can get her on because that can't be legal.
You showed it to the right guy, man. I'm sitting here in South Carolina. I hang out with that group, and what I heard was just blew my mind, brother. And we went ahead and we flew that out to everybody. So keep updated on that story. I'd like to see what occurs on that.
Oh, definitely. I definitely will be on top of it. I got people that are like really on top of it. That really know what's going on. So when I find out, you'll find out. Anything else?
All right. Excellent. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I did want to let you know that most certainly that's information that is bouncing around the house right now.
Well, thank you for that,
All
man.
right.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, yeah, that's definitely a thing because when I heard that, I was like, really? Dope boy money? Like, it was so crazy because, and if you guys missed that particular clip, if you didn't see the video that I played earlier or the video that I put out, so a South Carolina U.S. Senate Democratic candidate who's also currently in the South Carolina House as an actual sitting rep, like she's in office in South Carolina's local government, she was calling somebody in the penitentiary. I have no idea why she called this guy. I mean, I'm sure there's a guy you could call that's out in the free world who's not currently locked up. But she called the guy in the penitentiary. And of course, when you call somebody in the penitentiary, it's going to be recorded. Jail, penitentiary, it will be recorded. Okay? That's just what it is. She was on the call talking about trying to install fake conservatives into the GOP locally to, quote unquote, make change happen, to make things be more, quote unquote, progressive. And then she complained about not being able to raise money for her campaign, for her personal campaign. And she was like, look, I don't care about that drug money. Give me that dope boy money, which means drug dealer money. She said this on a call that's being recorded in prison. It's like, ma'am, where's your brain at? It's bad enough to request to get drug money given to your campaign. It's dumb to ask for that or to vocalize that on a call that's being recorded. When you call somebody in the penitentiary, you may as well have just called the police and said that, hey, I'm trying to get drug money, give it to my campaign. Yes, officer, that's what I want. So yeah, shout out to you for that call, man. I appreciate that. I'm making a difference, and I really appreciate the fact that I'm doing that. 810, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Colleen. Thank you. I'm so glad you answered. Again, thanks for bringing the wonderful content you do. And I wish I would have never saw that video that you showed of that woman. I mean, I'm still, I would love to just say a couple words to her. But, again, people like that, they don't listen. But how is it that if this woman is saying, well, I don't get my food stamps till the 7th, and she literally said he's bringing her one child food every day. He's bringing it, like you said, because he knows that child isn't eating, right?
Yes.
So how does that even work? How is she even getting away with that? How did he has to be, he's taking care of that child. She's like, well, how come? Why can't he buy for the other 3? Are you serious? These are the type of women you get. It's like the Democrats, like we said. You give them an inch, and they take 1,000 miles. You're kind, and you do the right thing, and you do what's right, and it's never good enough. They want so much more, to the point. And I heard it was that stupid Stephen Colbert. I cannot stand that man. But they showed a clip. Wanda Sykes was on. I don't know if you saw it. Was a couple nights ago. And she's on there talking about the abortion and how these judges lied. Well, I clearly remember them not lying when they were asked about abortion and how they feel. And Amy Coney, she was so very serious, about how she had people sign things, some petition. And that's kind of why they were, saying that, oh, no, she's too into it because do you remember that? At her church, she was, part of this huge petition about stopping abortion.
Yeah.
So anyways, Wanda Sykes is on Colbert saying that her and the other guy's name, I can't think, the other judge that they gave such a hard time, saying that they lied. And she's like, yeah, I was just watching The View, and Whoopi's right. They lied. Who the hell? Why would you listen to anything that Whoopi or any of those women on The View are saying anyways? And these people just, they use false lies. They lie straight out in the open, and people they applaud and they smile. And even in their head, you can't tell me, these people, there's many of them that did watch, when these judges, when they were going through, asking them all the questions and all of that, there were people that watched that, and they know good and darn well how they felt about abortion, and they were very clear on it. No one stuttered. Neither the man, and I can't remember his name. The judge, what is his name?
Which judge?
The one that was appointed by Trump.
Gorsuch, Kavanaugh?
Yes, Kavanaugh nor Coney, they did not stutter. They made it very clear how they felt about abortion and, their religious beliefs. I mean, I wasn't even paying that much attention, but I knew how they felt. Yet these people just continue to say they lie. And do you notice that? I just find that so funny. I'm like, they never lied about anything. They didn't say that, they said that they really couldn't answer that question, but they knew this is how they feel. I mean, they're, one of them has petitions in the church about abortion, and the other one had wrote some op-ed pieces about it. So that's what really gets to me, though. No matter how you feel, those judges did not lie about how they felt about abortion, and I don't know why anyone is surprised. But I guess anything that they do, if it's not the way that the Democrats feel, it's a lie, and it's all of a sudden this wrong decision that is threatening democracy. And I find it sickening. And like you said, so many are finally really getting it, and the ones that don't, if you're not getting it by now, I mean, I don't see wasting your time or spinning your wheels with those people, because by now, if they're not getting it, they're going to have to do it on their own, or just die miserable, because, that's what they are. Some people live to be miserable and victims, But I thank you very much, and thanks for letting me get that off my chest. But that woman I'm just sickened by her. Oh, Jesus, I can't. I wish I wouldn't have. Oh, that is just horrible, and I feel so sorry for those children. But anyway, thank you very, very much.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, because that woman, oh man, you talking about somebody being upset. Good night. I was super heated, super 38 special hot, super just. I'm talking about steam coming from my ears when I saw that video of the lady in the McDonald's situation. Okay, let's get to some more here. Thank you all for calling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. 914, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. I'm calling to, first of all, to thank you for your content. I appreciate everything that you do. I started watching you from some months back. So thank you so much for your content. I wanted to discuss the single mom with the McDonald's and the dad. Here's my take on it, and please let me know what you think. No one wins, right? So nobody wins. So even if the mother were to allow him to drop off the food to his son, that boy wouldn't have been able to eat that food in peace. All the other kids would have been, I want some. So what do you think would have been the solution to that? Because nobody wins.
Well, he offered to have the boy come down to the car. So, that would have been the thing, rather than being in the house. Come on down to the car, eat with me. Just like he could just go around the corner or just go to the McDonald's. Or have the father come get him for a little while, give him something to eat, and bring him back. That probably would have been the best thing. But see, she didn't want that, because he asked for that, and she says no, because that wasn't even the point. She wasn't even really concerned about the jealousy or whatever that the brother would experience from the other children. She just wanted to bully him to feed the other kids, because there was no food in the house for the other kids. And she sees that he does well by his son. So she can't reach out to anybody else. None of the other kids' dads are helping out. She can't take care of the kids herself because she doesn't have the food stamps available. She didn't spend them properly. So now the only one that can help is him. And rather than just asking nicely or trying to get him to do it, she's trying to make him do it by bullying.
Right. I didn't agree with that. And I think that, again, nobody wins, because if the children were there, and if they witnessed, which I'm pretty sure that they did, because if you look at the video, ABL, when she closed the door, it looked like they were in some type of visitation. The glass door did say visitation or visitor or something. So it looks as though that wasn't even her house. So even if the children were to hear that, it's going to affect them. So nobody wins. So if anything, I feel that he should have just made the exception. Just bring enough for the son and the siblings to have. When people go low, you go high. Just be politically correct about it. Because, again, look what she did. She wasted the food. She threw the food in the dirt. and the drink on the street. It's a no-win situation. So I just think that in situations like that, yes, I understand what you were saying, that when does it end, right? When does it end?
It never ends.
But I think
I've seen
has
it.
to be like, right.
It'll never, because
But
if he does that at that one time, it'll always be expected. It won't just be the end. It won't just be this one time. Okay, you look out for the kids, give them something to eat. It's going to be every time, because he comes to the house every day with food for the kid. So she's now trying to get him to escalate to giving all the kids food every day. That's going to be the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't do it, it'll be the same scenario, the same argument playing out again.
So there's really no solution.
The solution is for her. There's a solution. What she's got to do is go out there and get a job, because apparently the food stamps ain't helping enough, and she's relying upon him to take care of her kids. But that's not our responsibility. Mm-hmm. He did not have those kids. She had those kids. So she needs to go reach out to their other fathers and have them contribute, or she needs to get a job and contribute more than what she is. That's just that. Because what could happen here is, what she doesn't want to happen is for the boy to go with the father and he gets custody, because if that happens, now she loses the best father that she has, and she will have no ability to get any kind of help. She hold on to that boy to the bitter end. She'll fight tooth and nail to keep him, only because she knows that he's a pawn that she can use against the father, the good father, to extract more from him. I've seen it happen. I've seen that same scenario all throughout my entire childhood with different people, different family members and friends. I've seen it. As I know how it happens every single time. It's the same thing. I got kind of like PTSD watching it.
Right. And the last point I wanted to ask you, when you made the initial post about this particular situation, you mentioned that you've seen where even if the gentleman is not the biological dad, because he started buying things for the other children that are not his, that he has been made legally liable to take care of those kids. What state is that in? Where do they do that? If there's no DNA and there's no signature on the birth certificate?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what particular states do it and don't, but there could be court action. And if the judge says, okay, you've been taking care of these kids, they look up to you, all this and that and the third, then now you could be legally liable for child support. I've seen that happen before. I'm not exactly sure what state that was that I saw it, but I have seen that happen. There's multiple times where fathers who are not the father are made to pay child support. Obviously, if you're married to a mother, to a woman, and she has a baby and it's not yours, but you're married to her, child support, or you're responsible for that child, even if it's not yours. So the family court system is messed up like that, and that does happen.
Well, I think it's an unfortunate situation where, the welfare system the taxpayer dollar is taking care of these children. And unfortunately, no one wins, because there's no active father in the household. And she's not going to be able to successfully raise those boys, because she's not able to raise a man, because she's not a man. So I just think that it's really unfortunate all the way around. But Thank you so much for taking my call, ABL. Have a great evening.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. That's a good call. Yeah, because that whole situation, oh man, you're talking about somebody hot. But see, I understand when people say, just take care of the kids this one time, but that's not how it will work. Do you think that the woman that was in that video is diplomatic at all? Do you think that she would be the type of person that would, negotiate with you and be cordial? Because if she just, here's the thing. It wasn't like what she said it was about from the beginning was not what it was about. She said that the reason she did not want to have the father bring the kid McDonald's and not bring enough for everybody else is because the other kids would feel left out. That was her reasoning. The other kids would feel left out. It'd be a jealousy thing. But the real reason is because there wasn't no food in the house. That's much different. One reason is feelings. The other reason is like it's scarcity, emergency, necessity. Please feed my kids versus they're going to feel left out. That's two different things. So just, lead with the truth. And if he wants to help, then that's on him. Now, he'll be a fool to do it because he'll always have to do that. But lead with the truth. Don't try to bully the man into doing it. Just say what's going on for real. All right, let's get to some more calls. 951 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Dee from California. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's really great. You put on a great show, and we try to catch it all the time. I wanted to bring something up. I don't even know if this is appropriate, so cut me off if it is, but you were talking about Hillary earlier. I got a lot of names for her, but the funniest thing is I can recall a long time ago, and I'm talking 25 to 26 or 7 years ago, she was on Oprah. And the interview was, and I'll talk about hypocrisy here. The interview was about how she was such a hero, telling some person, probably, I think it was a man, that he shouldn't shake his baby and that it was very dangerous to shake the baby. You know, we know we should treat our children and our babies very carefully. But I think it's quite, hypocritical because she voted against the ban on partial birth abortion. So yet she's trying to tell somebody not to shake their baby. And abortion, of course, is the ultimate shaking babies. It's such a tyrannical thing. And, I just want people to know about that. I can't find it anywhere online to get it. But I remember at the time I went to take my son to preschool, and he was just enrolling, and somebody else had seen it, and she was all, "Oh, Hillary, she's so great. She tells these people not to shake their baby." But then, of course, she's all about this, let's destroy the baby before it's born, or who knows, maybe even after, I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because this is, to me, a very serious thing now. And I do understand that the Roe versus Wade thing is all about bringing it back to the states, and it should have never left the states to begin with because it was never a constitutional thing. I mean, that's just the way I see it. But I just wanted to bring that up and also mention one more thing. I'm going to speak from somebody I know. Abortion itself, to the mother, okay, we all know it's dangerous to the baby. Women need to really think about how harmful it is to them because people die from having abortions. Women die from having abortions. And if they don't die, they can go through a very difficult medical emergency or other medical problems later on. So I just wish people would think a little more about that. And this is just tiring. It's really tiring to hear these people go on about it when it really should have never been on a federal level to begin with. But thank you so much for hearing me out, and appreciate that. And I hope you have a really great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. 304, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, I was looking for the Morgan Freeman advice line.
You've reached it.
This is Jeff from West Virginia. How you doing, ABL?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
As throw that in there. Hey, what we gonna call our new holiday? June 24th. We gonna call that Life Day?
Yeah, we call it that, Life Day. I like that.
I like that too. Well, what a way to end Pride Month. Hey, I tell you what, man, a little after 10 when they announced that decision, did you see that crowd that was out in front of the Supreme Court?
I did, yeah. It was an interesting mix.
The only thing that would have made it better is at 10 after 10 when they announced Roe V Wade had been overturned, is if they would have brought a fire hose out and just watered that crowd down. not because they were getting overly rambunctious. They looked like they needed a shower.
Yes, 100% correct. That would have been a great opportunity.
I'll bet that crowd smelled like a dumpster in August out back of a Red Lobster. But anyways, she's also in your title description. It said Whoopi versus Clarence Thomas.
Yes.
I need a little more info on that. Is it for the title? Will it be in a steel cage?
I wish.
I'm ready for that one. Me too. Oh, me too. But anyways, I was going to say on a couple more serious things here. You was talking about that semi-trailer down in Texas with 53 dead people. Did you see there in California that 2 guys were pulled over with 150,000 fentanyl pills?
Wow.
And they were released on their own reconnaissance?
Wow. So, like, no punishment. You just bring drugs into the country, kill people. It's no big deal.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something, man. Like, you should really look that story up because the sheriff of the county that had arrested he was mad as a hornet. And the judge just let these guys, and they're coming back to court. So, I've talked to you about drugs and different things before. So let me just tell everybody something. In those capsules they fill up, you're talking about 1.37 grams of fentanyl in there. That is enough to kill the party, ladies and gentlemen. That's more than enough to kill a horse. You don't want to be taking this stuff, and you don't want to be messing around with it.
That's right. Very dangerous.
And, and I want to say this, ABL, if you got to cut me off, I understand. But, with things like methamphetamine, people, you have to understand one of the main ingredients is Drano. And what does Drano do? It dissolves hair, fat, and grease. Look at your hand and see what you're made of. And you want to take something like that. And in cocaine, they'll use powdered roach killer to cut that with. And you don't know what's in this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So those guys should have really faced some serious punishment for that. And we'll probably never get any justice for it because, they're not coming back to court. But also this gun rights thing real quick. If there's anybody from West Virginia, and I know you possibly have some family left in West Virginia, both of our senators voted for that. And I will not be voting for Shelley Moore Capito or Joe Manchin again. And I'm going to be telling all my neighbors and letting them know because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Why is Florida and Texas having to hold the line here, everybody, in West Virginia? We need to vote the right people in there. And I ain't going to say a name right here, but you could probably look it up, ABL. But the pastor of my church right down the road was recently elected to the state Senate here, to the state House of Representatives. And next time I see him, I think I'm going to have to get down and talk to him and say, why don't you try for Shelley Moore Capito's seat or Manchin seat? Because he's a former cop, former K-9 unit, pastor of a church, father, conservative, just everything you'd want. So that's my plan for it. And if you're in one of those states where somebody voted for that, I suggest you all do the same thing.
Definitely. That's a good plan to me.
That's it. Well, I think I'm going to get off here, but I will say one more thing. If there's still a tampon shortage, ladies, I'm going to suggest try the men's bathroom at New York University. Probably full of them.
That's right.
All right, man. Have a good evening, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye, bub.
All right. Great call. And let's go. The phone lines are blowing up, so y'all please be patient. 210, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, ABL. I was just calling in regards, just wanted to say, comment about the abortion issue real quick, and
yes.
I'll take your response offline. But as soon as that came out, I don't know if any of your other listeners have experienced the same thing, but I did get an email from Planned Parenthood, and it's been over like 25 years or more since I've had anything to do with Planned Parenthood. And I keep on getting email after email telling them like they're advocating for supporters about this abortion thing. I'll go ahead and take the answer off the line. Thank you, ABL. Bye.
Thank you for the call. Yeah, Planned Parenthood, a lot of these organizations, they get desperate. They try to reach out to anybody. I mean, you could have been dealing with them many, many years ago. They'll still come back and try to get you in. And it's just a way for them to push their agenda. They don't really particularly care too much about the particulars of your involvement or how long it's been. If you are some kind of way in their system, if they think they can reach out to you, they will. It's just like I've been out of college for a long time, but yet I still get emails from my old school talking about, I got an email talking about, did I want to come back? It said something about I forget what it was. Some kind of restart program that I want to finish. No, I don't want to finish. That's been 15 years ago. I'm cool on that. I've been able to move on in my life, but that's how they do. So that's pretty much what that is. Anonymous caller on the line. Who am I speaking to? Hello. Hello. All right, got cold feet. Let's go to 912. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL? This is Joel Davis Media Network, brother. How you been?
Everything is good, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing, man. Just wanted to get on the show tonight and talk about three things. First things first, wanted to discuss about the story that you brought up about R. Kelly and the Aaliyah and all that stuff. Brought back a lot of memories when I was growing up, seeing all that, which, you know, at our age, we didn't understand it, but now since we're adults and a lot of us have kids, we understand that that's the whole grooming process that was very big, especially in the music industry back then. You know, and it's unfortunate that, and rest in peace to Aaliyah, that she wouldn't have the chance to see the justice that she should have gotten as a child, because she was basically exploited by a lot of people around her that was supposed to be protecting her. And I think that's the same. Well, I don't think I know. That's the same thing that's going on with these other young women that's adults that was in the courtroom today. I mean, these parents and a lot of these adults enabled R. Kelly to do the things he did. So this wasn't just all on R. Kelly. And I feel like that I'm glad you brought that to everyone's attention, because it was very apparent even back then.
That's right, 100% correct. And you know, people, they want to act like they try to ignore what was going on with R. Kelly and Aaliyah and the industry in general. They try to ignore it, but it's like, wait a minute here. We can't just ignore the stuff forever. We got to just really call it out for what it is and be serious about it, because if we ignore it and try to, you know, put it under the rug, it'll continue. It'll be like just the industry's culture, and it won't stop. So at a certain point, you got to put it into it.
Yeah, and I agree. And I'm glad that, you know, it's finally coming to an end. I just hate that it had to come. It took this long.
Yeah.
Because at the time, it seemed like to me, you know, everybody was wanting to be in the pockets of R. Kelly because he was a megastar. And then they allowed this behavior. And then after his star waned, because all these other, you know, new type of artists come out, okay, now we'll go and throw them to the wolves. But it is what it is. The second story I want to talk about, what you talked about tonight, was the South Carolina Senator nominee, Krystle Matthews. Now, that's down in my area where I'm originally from, South Carolina. And you know what's crazy is she got nominated as the Democratic leader to go against Tim Scott in the primaries in November. You can't make this up, man. And it just goes to show you the hypocrisy that we're seeing with the liberal politicians. Because if it would have been a conservative politician that would have said a fraction of what she said on that jailhouse call, ABL, you already know what would have happened. It would have been a full-blown investigation. They would have stopped. They would have been questioning his nomination. It would have been a whole mess.
Absolutely correct. You know, that's what it would have been. But if she says it, or a Democrat in general says something like this, then it's not really a big deal. It's like, oh, it's whatever. You know, so we see the hypocrisy from mainstream media, from politicians, from everybody when it comes to things like this. If they're on the left, just kind of leave it alone. Anybody that's close to the right, on the right, you throw them under the bus.
Yeah, and what's insane about this young lady is that even though this has been projected out, it's been exposed out there what she did, Project Veritas, all this stuff. She's taking interviews and digging herself deeper and deeper for the feds to come get her. Because you know what recently happened to Andrew Gilliam? They waited 2 years and got everything they wanted on him, and now they came after him. So there's still a good possibility they'll make sure she is comfortable after this election. They can still get her because you know how the federales work, ABL. They always watching and collecting.
That's right. For years, they'll watch you, and then they strike. And when they strike, it's pretty much over with.
Yes, it is. And the situation with the McDonald lady that you talked about, I was going to do that story on my channel, but y'all beat me to it because I've been busy working this week. I agree with y'all on 100%. Me and my wife were talking about this. It is not that baby father's of that child. He's not obligated to support those other kids. They're not in a relationship. He's not married to her. His job is to take care of his child. If she's that being out of shape about him going to get Happy Meals and not getting it for the other kids, then she needs to go and do what she needs to do as a mother and get those Happy Meals or something equivalent to that for those other kids when that child has that meal there. That's what she should be doing. Blasting him is not the answer.
Exactly. 100% correct. I mean, like, she's trying to blast him. Like I said, she's trying to blast him to bully him into helping her. She could just ask, it's not her responsibility, but if she needs some help, just ask for the help rather than trying to scream on him and bully him into doing it. And if he says no, then so be it. But she doesn't want him to say no. She wants him to, she's trying to make him say yes. And that's a terrible way to be as a person.
Yeah. And that's that entitlement mentality. And it's just disgusting. And the last story that was brought up by the caller, which I was probably going to do a story on that first thing tomorrow morning. That is true about what happened in California. I think they were probably Spanish nationals. I don't know for sure, but they had $750,000 worth of fentanyl pills. They were caught with these pills. They were arrested. The pills were even exposed all on the news and everything else, and the judge did let them go. And if you notice, this is once again the same thing that me and you have talked about on my show when you have came on along with Jericho and what we talked about on our own platforms. There is a huge problem with bail reform. And the reason why there's a huge problem with this bail reform is because you get so soft on these criminals that all we're doing is endangering the public's lives. We're not holding them accountable, and we're not practicing law and order.
That's right.
And it's sad because if you look at the fentanyl rate of all these overdoses, this is the reason right here. When we have judges and DAs like this, that's like, well, we're not going to hold them because we want to not be considered racist or not a part of this whole minority culture. This is how we're going to continue to have all of this uptick in violence and uptick in overdoses in our country. So hopefully, maybe after this red wave, we can get a lot of this resolved, especially in a lot of these states.
Hopefully so, man, because we need it. We most certainly do.
Yes. So, again, thank you, ABL, for giving me a chance to hear me out. Hopefully, man, we can link up after all of our busy schedules and try to do a mega broadcast again.
That'd be good, man, for sure. And thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
Anytime, brother. Take care.
All right, now, same to you.
Bye.
All right, shout out to Joe Davis Media Network. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to his channel as well. He is also on the YouTubes. So Joel Davis Media Network. Y'all go ahead and tap in. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How's it going? This is Chuck from Arizona.
Everything's going well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Having a pretty good night. Sorry, I kind of caught the end of your show. I was watching a little bit of another stream, but I wanted to ask you, do you know what a raving fan is?
No, I don't think so.
A raving fan, it's a business term, and what it means is somebody who comes into your business and is so well taken care of or in business terms, that it's just overall good experience, that they have the compassion or whatever to tell 10 other people about their experience, whether it's good or it's bad. It could be a raving fan in a bad way or in a good way. But a raving fan is someone who tells 10 other people about their experience, that they had such an experience, whether it's good or bad, that they tell other people about it. Well, what I say at the moment right now, what most people need to do is be raving fans of people like yourself, and many of the other people that I watch myself, and actually share. We are at a moment right now where, you know, the Supreme Court just withheld the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, also overturned Roe versus Wade. We're at an amazing point in this nation. What we need to do is back people like you have been speaking on these terms, who have been backing this idea up, and be raving fans. As someone who tells other people, because the only way that this turn, as far as a realignment or what we're going into, is going to actually have effect and last, and actually withhold, is if we make it wide and we gain momentum. So what you guys all need to do in the chat, there's 1,242 people in the chat right now as I'm looking. If every person in the chat shared right now, you know, ABL would be bigger than CNN. You know, he already gets more views than CNN, but as a live show, 1,200 people, we can boost that up to 20,000, have it something like Tim Pool's doing at the moment. So what I do say is, if you share this video, you become a raving fan, you are in support, show it, and let everybody know. Be brave, make the step to say, this is who I am, and this is where I came from. And it's people like you, ABL. So I just want to say thank you. And to the 1,227 people now, share this video, do something, have some action, and make it something that is actually intellectual rather than throwing a firebomb like some Antifa or BML person. They have nothing to stand on, and we have foundation, and people like you, who have been speaking on this for a long time, built that with a lot of the people in the chat right now, I would say. So what we need to all do is share, like, comment, boost people like ABL, and start to have some cheer in the fact that we are making change. And if we show cheer, everybody likes a party, and they're all going to join in. So when you got one side bullying you and telling you everything you're doing is wrong, and they hate you for everything you're doing, the other side saying, hey man, sorry they just knocked you off your bike, let me help you up real quick. They're kind of assholes, right? It's kind of what the conservatives have done the whole time. Well, now we need to say, no, let's throw a party, because, you know, these guys are assholes, and we just won't invite them.
Oh, you can't curse on the stream. Can't Scarlet call. You can't.
I'm sorry.
Can't curse. You can't curse on the stream.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. But that's just what I wanted to say. A raving fan. It's a business term. And I know you're running the business over there, so it does kind of matter. But what it really matters is you made an experience for me that makes me want to share your video, and I hope other people do the same. Because that's really what's going to help ABL, and that's going to be kind of the crux of what we're all kind of leaning on at the moment as we're watching you. So you're making change, and I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Have a good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller, and thank you all for being here. Let's get to a lot more. We got a lot more calls on the line, so y'all please hang tight. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Okay, ABL. First off, I would like to say something to my state patriots, Illinois. Is that if you got out to vote for the Trump endorsed Brian Miller, and if you're in the 15th district, voted for Mary Miller, congratulations, they're on the board. But I strongly recommend people in the Chicago area wake up to smell the coffee that the Democrats are not our friends, especially not J.B. Pritzker or Mayor Dirtyfoot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, ABL, I do have a few questions. First off, pertaining with the governors. To your knowledge, does any of the governors have the power to kind of request the removal of any mayors if that mayor's dereliction of their duties?
I'm not sure how that works.
Okay, well, if you do, let me know, because I really think that the type of outbursts that the Chicago mayor is doing, along with Kim Foxx and other people of color who are Democrats are doing, would be considered dereliction of duty, or just being a bad person because they're upset they didn't get the verdict they want in the Supreme Court and they're just lashing out at people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would like to know, ABL, if you believe that this new witness, in quotation marks, for the sham committee was deliberately coached on exactly what to say and when to say it, and from us who are paying attention knows that there's no cross-examinations to kind of call her out on her lies, because she read the body language. You can see something's up with her.
That's a good question. I think that's possible. There could have been some coaching going on there. I wouldn't doubt it, because you know, this whole thing is kind of a dog and pony show, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, that's
Which
probably
my reason I haven't been watching it.
You said what now?
Which is my reason I've not been watching it,
right?
Even though my father keeps on insisting I should.
Yeah,
I can't even convince him to at least remotely look at other sources than what the fake news is telling him, particularly that there are other people who were there, like Antifa now was there, according to the Gateway Pundit, and ESU, if you look at their rainbow wristbands, were blended into the crowd. And this one thing will alarm you and everybody else. According to justthenews.com, through some emails that Nancy Pelosi and the D.C. mayor, I call her Queen Koopa, knew about January 6th, 2 weeks in advance, and denied to send the National Guard up there.
Yeah, there was a request for National Guard, and it was denied. And it was with a big event like that, at a time like this, really sensitive, and you have different little groups coming together, you got to have security, and it just wasn't. It didn't happen. So they're talking about how bad this was, but it could have been easily prevented. There could have been more security. It was a lot of things that just been on that didn't go properly, that the Democrats cannot blame on the other side.
Yeah. But do you know who actually has the power to call up the National Guard in that case? Because in the argument with my father, he said to me that the D.C. mayor doesn't have that power. So who does in this case, the president or Pelosi?
I'm not exactly sure how that whole thing goes, but I think it's a process you have to go through. I'm not sure the president can just do it himself, but there is a process. And I think that a lot of the Democrats just did not follow through with their particular, with what they should have done, basically.
Yeah. And that's predominantly what's missing out of this for anyone who is paying attention to it. But when we were talking about this about a year ago, they did absolutely nothing but string along this witch hunt.
That's
and
right.
Speaking of, quote, insurgencies, after the Supreme Court did its ruling, did you hear about this hostage situation in Arizona where these feminists took some senators hostage?
Well, I heard about like the Capitol situation, but I didn't hear about any hostages being taken.
Yep, they took some senators hostage about 2 days into it, and after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and that was not even in the mainstream media at all. And that's a textbook definition of what insurgency is right there, if you really think about it.
Well, you're right about that, man. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Okay, have a nice evening.
Same to you. All righty. Shout out to my man for the call. Yeah, I didn't even hear about the whole hostage thing. That's interesting. 908, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Anthony. Oh my God. My name is Debbie. And first, let me just let you know, I love you. I love Tatum. And I love Candace. Okay. You guys are the only few people on YouTube that is trying to spread the truth and trying to bring awareness and at no cost and whatever. You're doing what you want to do and you're taking the daggers and you all are coming out shining. And I love that. Okay?
Well, thank you.
I know our people are very cruel. And as soon as you go one way and they think you should go another way, they're trying to defame you and name call. And let me tell you something. You guys are so elegant and classy and professional, and I love it. And you're a good example of what people should be in this day and age. So I just want to thank you, and I'm so glad that God's protection is shining over you guys. All right? So, look, I'm from New Jersey, as you can probably hear, so I'm going to get to the gusto. All right? Now, I just signed up for Twitter. I'm not tech savvy. My daughter's not here, but I would love for you to know I was totally in shock today with this behavior from the people that are supposed to be old and are supposed to be mentors for our young children. And I let them have it. And let me tell you something. I don't know if they're going to see it, but I put it out there. Number one, Lizzo, I got on her last night. She tweeted that she's donating $1 million to Planned Parenthood and Live Nation is matching her donation. Okay? So I just said to her, Lizzo, I'm trying to do everything with kindness and with love because that's how you have to combat evil with light, right?
That's right.
So I said, Lizzo, I'm not sure if you know the history, but I really need you to look up the founder of Planned Parenthood. Her name's Margaret Sanger, and look up what her mission was. Okay, before you put your money. Now, not for me to tell you where to put it, but you might want to do some research first. Okay, that's number one. Ridiculous. Now, not Live Nation, if I'm not mistaken, they're like a production company and they pay all different entertainers, right?
I believe so. They do live concerts.
Okay, so if all the black entertainers and Italians and anyone of an immigrant heritage, if they all boycott them, they would be out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So they're supporting a company that wanted you killed. Your generation. All right, so you know what? We'll move on. Samuel Jackson had the nerve to call Mr. Thomas Uncle Thomas. I don't know how to like to share my tweets with you and what I put because I know people can do that. I'm not tech savvy, but I did let Mr. Jackson know. You know, I'm really surprised at your behavior. You know, from your stories on TV, you say you came from nothing. You were a crackhead. You were in the street. Mr. Thomas came from nothing, okay? He was poor, and he fought for everything that he got right now. And this man is in the highest position in the country. Has he ever talked to you disrespectful or named you or shamed you with any of your decisions in your professional or your personal life? What gives you the right to disrespect that man like that? I said, from this day forward, I will not support you at all. And I let Whoopi Goldberg have it. And I couldn't get through to her Twitter, but I did get through to the View's Twitter, and I went in on her. I went in really hard. I said, number one, from this day forward, you will not be on the View to represent the black race. I don't need you to represent me because with your behavior, what you said to that man, or what you spoke of, that's unacceptable. I said, you're supposed to be a black woman, and then you had to shame him and went into the person that he loves and her race. So now we have to love in a certain lane, Whoopi. That's what you're about? I don't want no part of you. And you know what? That man has never disrespected you personally with your whole career. He shines, he's very professional, and he sticks to what he believes in. Maybe he made the decision on this because there's more abortions than there are births in this country. New York State alone, there were more black babies aborted last year than there were born. And that's a problem to me because you're cutting out your own you're cutting out your own race. Holly Berry put something on there, stupid, because you know she's a puppet. She's just doing what she has to do. And I said, Holly, you may not want to go there and talk about abortions because guess what? Those are going to be your future fans, honey, putting money in your pocket. Because Hollywood, if you have no children around, these children are going to be adults. And this is your fan base you're killing off. What y'all going to do? Okay, so that's number one. So I let them all have it, Anthony. I let them have it. I don't know if they're going to see it, which I doubt, but I had to get it out there. Now, that one man that called Mr. Thomas the N-word, I know you heard about that, right?
Yeah.
On Twitter? Okay. I went in on him, and he responded. I went in on him, and I said, sir, I said, there's no way that you're a grown man as a professor at a school, and you are showing this type of behavior. I said, you know what? I tried to kill him with kindness. I said, since you have so much passion about this subject matter, and you really, really want to get your opinion across, go to D.C. You get in your car, drive to D.C., and go up there and call Mr. Clarence that name, and voice your opinion, because you're wasting it on social media, because nobody wants to see that behavior. I said, but you know what? I really think that this hate that you have, it's not about Mr. Thomas. It's not about the topic. It's something deep within you, and you need to release that, because what you're going to do is you're going to kill yourself. And me as a black woman is letting you know that I care, and you need to release that anger. I don't know if you need God. I don't know if you need love, but you need something. I said, but the way you're acting is totally unacceptable. So I just want to let you know that, Anthony. And I also want to let you know, I'm just listening to everybody grouping together. I'm real passionate about everything right now. My husband passed away this past January.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know. And I have a sore spot, and I can't move on because, you know, we didn't drink the Kool-Aid, and he was mistreated because of that in the facility he was in, and I wasn't able to see him. And he was a totally healthy person. All he had was a chest cold, and they deteriorated him in a week.
Wow.
That quick. And it was all about the money. So that's another subject. I'm not even going to go down that road. But what I want to say to you and all these people, I'm listening to everybody, and I'm just loving it, what I hear, because we all have these beautiful gifts that we have from our Heavenly Father blessed us with. And we can all come together and use those gifts. And we don't have to go out there in the street like they are acting crazy. We can do it all through social media and write these letters to DC and all band together, because that one lady that was really, really upset about that girl with the kids, she sounds like she would be very good in that area. And you know what? I did not approve of that behavior, but you can't blame that lady, because who did she learn it from? And where did that all stem from? These crumbling neighborhoods. And she probably didn't have any guidance growing up. And I'm not giving her an excuse, but this is what it has come to. And I would love to get a charm school for these girls, like a boot camp. You can tell her, you're going to come in there with no weed, leave that cell phone home, we're going to get you straight. We're going to give you home economics. We're going to give you how to cook. We're going to get you straight. If we could just, huh? I
said right on, but I got. This is a great call, but I got to get to a few more here before I wrap it up. So
okay, and then also, Black Lives Matter. We need to get our money back because she admitted to fraud. You know that, right?
Yeah, we got to get that refund ASAP for sure.
All right, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you for the call.
I love you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, baby, bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience. Y'all know what the drill is. Let's go to... All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Hey, ABL, what's up, man? I just want to say, man, yeah, that January 6th, this is the biggest PSYOP kangaroo court ran on the American public, man. This was just a nothing burger, man. It's you know, what it is, and what's interesting about our biased media is our biased media says liberal outrage is okay, but you conservatives aren't. Because, you know, you remember when, like I said, Trump won, and the biggest hoax was that Russia collusion. That was a hoax. There was no proof of that. In fact, the proof that they used for the Russian collusion was Trump making an off joke saying, "Hey, Russia, look into Hillary Clinton's emails." That was like, we knew what that was. We knew that was a joke. But the media intentionally took that seriously because they assumed the American public is stupid. And they ran with this waste of time, waste of money, Russian hoax. Now, we didn't see any censoring from any of the social media giants. Nothing. You were allowed to question the election, and even until today, fast forward to 2020. Now all of a sudden you cannot question it at all. And I'm not going to question it because I know that the liberals who run YouTube, have these double standard policies. And like I said, these are all PSYOP policies played on the American people to force us to think a certain way. And they think we're stupid. And with this January 6th thing, man, this is such a waste of time. Like, these resources can be allocated on, improving the American economy. You know what I'm saying? Getting prices down, ending these stupid wars. But they want to sit there and talk about this nothing burger where like nobody at home is talking about this January 6th. No, it's like, and you know what's crazy? You got to think about this. If this was an insurrection, this was the weakest, lamest insurrection I've seen in my life. Because like, where was all the security? How is it that the world's powerful country just allow a bunch of civilians just to run up on the Capitol? The one question people have to ask themselves is when you see a major event like this, you got to ask yourself, you got to always ask yourself, cui bono, who stands to benefit more? And when I look at this January 6th, I look at who stands to benefit. It was not the Republicans. Like, Trump supporters got nothing out of it. But if I was a Democrat and I saw this January 6th protest and I was in Congress, I'll say, yes, thank you. I'll be happy. I was like, thank you. Because I'm going to ride this. I'm going to spin this. I'm going to say this is the worst. I'm going to say, you see, we can't have these Republicans in power because they are trying to overthrow the government. I'm telling you, that's what they are doing behind closed doors. Because this is nothing. Nobody's life was threatened, man. And, I always say this, Trump supporters have to be careful and not to fall into the liberal trap. They want us to protest because any small thing that happens, they will magnify it and they will blame you. And what Trump supporters got to also understand is they can have liberal infiltrators with MAGA hats on, waving a MAGA flag, doing dumb things like this, destroying vehicles or starting a fight. So you know what I'm saying? I just, want people to understand that this January 6th is a major distraction. And please, 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 whoever lives in Liz Cheney's state, that woman is a traitor. She should not ever be voted back in. She's a liar. When she was running, she was pro-Trump and, finessed the Republican Party, played on our emotions, came in and just flipped the switch. She needs to be punished. She needs to be thoroughly destroyed at the polls, thoroughly. Her head is so big that she thinks that she's going to sit there and rerun for office, just scoff at us. No, she needs to be thoroughly destroyed. Set an example. Let the mainstream media say, well, she was a major Trump opponent. She got defeated. Trump is taking over. Please, I'm begging anyone to listen to us. Liz Cheney is a traitor. She doesn't care about anything conservative. She don't care about any of the liberal takeover. All her clown self is worried about is defeating Donald Trump and make sure he doesn't run. Traitor. And that's all I got to say, bro.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Very well said. Y'all know I can't really say it no better than that. That was very well said. Okay, let's go. 469, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 469, hello. Going once.
Hi, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Hi, I can't believe I got through. Sorry. How are you today?
Oh, well, about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I just wanted to say I've been watching you for a long time, since like 2020. And sometimes I think that YouTube suppresses your alerts because I don't ever see them until like way after the fact. But happened to catch you tonight, which I'm happy. I want to say that I'm a Christian and I'm pro-choice. So I think that women have a lot of choices when it comes to like preventing pregnancy. So you can, if you're a pro-choice person here, you should be able to like look up those type of resources to figure out how not to do that, which will result in ending a life. I think it's pretty hilarious how there's so many of these people that are just like crying about, you know, Roe versus Wade getting overturned. And then on top of that, they're literally like upset about the Second Amendment issue as well, which is just ridiculous. And anywho, I'm a little nervous, but thank you for taking my call and your time. It'll be a good one.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Shout out to the caller. All right. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Yeah. So, Utah, have you heard what's happening in Utah?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, Planned Parenthood is suing Utah so they could stall them from implementing their trigger law on the abortion.
Okay. That's interesting.
But what's interesting about it, though, is how hypocritical the pro-abortion people are. One argument that they use is, well, what about the rape victims of incest? In the Utah law, they provided that. They said that people who are raped or a baby born from incest are allowed to get abortion. However, they don't like that. I mean, why are you using rape victims and incest as an argument when they provided that and you still don't like it?
Yeah, that whole thing, that's like they use their argument to try and make it be the majority. When you're talking about any kind of sexual assault, life of the mother, incest, that's less than 1% of all abortions. The majority, the overwhelming majority, 99%, are elective just because they want it. Just like I saw Jamel Hill from ESPN, formerly of ESPN, she wrote an op-ed talking about she had an abortion at age 26 because she just didn't want to have a baby. She said it wasn't no sexual assault. It wasn't nothing that I just didn't want to have a baby.
Wow.
Like that's typically what happens. At least she was honest.
Yeah. What makes it worse is that what they don't like in Bill, the Planned Parenthood, is that it says that if the woman was raped and looking for abortion, they have to first file a police report. And they don't like that part. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't like that part? Don't you want to get this criminal off the street so they won't harm any other woman?
They should want to do that, but that's not, of course, how they operate.
Yeah, I mean, like, what? Let's say, for instance, the woman did not get pregnant from a rape. You don't want to file the police report?
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And also, the last thing I want to talk about is what I heard from my priest this past Sunday. They talked about the overturn of Roe v Wade. They were happy about it. However, he went into the gun laws, saying that, well, we fight so hard to overturn Roe v Wade, but we are not fighting hard to get these guns off the streets. This is about the sanctity of life. I agree with them. It is about the sanctity of life. That's why we fight to protect the guns. Because if you reduce our freedom to defend ourselves, you're reducing the chance to protect the sanctity of life. We got to understand that the law is there to protect us from the tyranny of the government, which in history is showed that. You know the Nat Turner rebellion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, happened in 1832, After that, in that turn of rebellion, what they did is pass the laws to restrict the human rights of free blacks and mulattoes, the half blacks. One of the things that they put in the laws is to take away their guns to make sure that they won't protect themselves and they can't defend themselves from the government. And they even confiscated their guns. That is a attack on the sanctity of life. That is why we have the Second Amendment, to protect human life. I understand how bad the gun violence is, but what's worse is the high violent crime rate in all other areas of the crime. If you look at Europe, higher crime rate, like violent crime, like rape and burglary and stuff like that, than in America. Why? Because we have other ways to protect ourselves.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Well, that'll be a wrap, actually, because I'm at the end of the show. Thank you all for being here. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. You got to blame the white man for that. But I'll be back again, of course, live on Saturday. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys there. And I'm here every day pretty much putting out content, pre-recorded. Usually 2 videos a day. If I got enough topics to talk about, I'll put them on the channel. And again, thank y'all for joining. If you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And this will be available as a podcast on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, etc. Links for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I'll see some of them spam ads come in here. Thank y'all for keeping that out the way and keeping everybody above board with the comments and whatnot. I thank y'all for that. I couldn't do the show without y'all. Thank you to everybody that's been watching. If you've been sharing, liking, super chatting, whatever you've been doing, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, visit all my sponsors and all my links in the description box. I got some super chats right here. I'm gonna read, then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you to Hosanna Renee, who says, fresh nails in a bonnet. That was too funny. Yeah, talking about that lady. Yeah, the McDonald's refuser, the fresh nails in the house with no food for the kids, and the big bonnet, big crazy bonnet just in the crib, causing mayhem. Okay. So David Bray, you said you can't find the podcast anywhere, not on Amazon. It's not on Amazon, I don't think. Google Play, it should be there if you search ABL Live. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find it right now. Let me see if I can find it just on my desktop. I might not be able to, but I know it's on those apps. I know it's on Apple iTunes, but ABL Live, it should be there. If it's not on Google Play, I'm going to try to fix that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback. I'll try to look into it, but I never had it on Amazon. That might be another place I need to put it, because what I do, I put it on Anchor. And what Anchor does is they distribute it to all the other platforms. So let me just make sure that it's going where it's supposed to go. So let's check it here. Let's go to podcast availability. It's on Apple, Google, Overcast. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I guess there's more that I could put it on. I could put it on Amazon and Overcast and all the other ones. Okay, let's look into that. And let me see where, because I can check the distribution right now to see exactly where it's going. There should be so most of my stuff is Apple, then Spotify, Castbox, Podcast Addict, and other ones. Okay. Shout out to the non-binary person on Spotify who's watching my podcast. That's funny. All right. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Let me go ahead and just finish up what I'm doing right here. I don't want to get into the background stuff right now while I'm on the stream. Okay. Thank you to Kip Burnham, who says, ABL, you are an absolute legend, buddy. You are so level-headed. The internet is blessed to have you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to Brown Girl PO, who says, where do you get these names from? Hey, I just be thinking. I'm just a quick person, quick on my feet. I just come up with names, very, very quick. Just, freestyling. Thank you to Kip, who says, my 2C guest and the only option was drop it off. Thank it to King James Neal, who says, you see all the pro wrestlers coming after Kane over his statement of the Roe v. Wade. I never knew they would be so vicious. I can't look at them the same now. I didn't even see that. And quite frankly, I don't even want to see it. It's like when you meet somebody that you really admire and then it's not the way you thought it was going to be. Sometimes it's very disappointing. Yeah, so shout out to my man Kane, also known as Glenn Jacobs. Glenn Jacobs is a politician now. He's the mayor of Knox County here in Tennessee. I've met him before. The nicest guy in the world. Humongous, but the nicest guy in the world. I'm 6'3", 215 pounds right now. Kane, next to Kane, I look like a little boy. That man is humongous, a whole wall. Thank you to We Are Hammer for the thank you emoji and donation. Thank you to Lee Rhodes, who says, you just became a member and you upgraded to the ABL squad. Thank you to Good Lawyer for the thank you emoji. Appreciate you for that one, boss. Thank you to Vincent Williams, who says, like the caller said, you keep it shining. Thank you. And thank you to Tommy from Texas, who said, I sent you something in the snail mail. Don't call federales. It was safe. Hope you got it. Well, I'll check that out. I got to go over there and pick stuff up. But thank you all for being here yet again. I'll be back live again on Saturday. And I'm here every day pretty much for pre-recorded videos. And if you have any suggestions for topics, you can send it to my snail mail. My email address is on the website, anthonyblogan.com. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.